everybody.
I feel like my intro is a little too long now, but no, nobody's complained, so
No, I was.
It should be fine.
I got to ask, is that you on the bike?
Oh, the scooter? Yeah, that was me.
Because I got scared when that woman cut you off at the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, I got that on film. And my old intro was just footage of that bike scooter ride. I took it when I was in Taiwan. It was like a little motor scooter. And but I made the new intro, but I kept that in because I'm like, I don't know, people think it's memorable. Yep, she totally cut me off. Look who joined. Hello, what's up?
Oh, Ron made it.
Hey, I made it.
You made it. Yeah, thanks for joining. Good. How are you?
Guys, thanks for the invite. I'm doing good. I was just drawing another book, and I checked my inbox, and there it was. So I said, okay, I'll jump on for a few. So, thank you. Cool. Yeah, I know. My my first published.
I put my money where my mouth is.
Nice.
Oh yeah! Nice. Thank you.
Nano 13 is good company.
I put too much of my money where my mouth is. I could be showing off all of these comics all day long.
All the books.
Yeah,
amazing.
I just got Inglorious Rex in the mail. I forgot that I even ordered it. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. Mike, hey buddy, how are you?
Hello. Hi everyone in chat.
You back like a bunch of books, and then it takes a while to come out, and you just get these surprises in the mail. I'm like, holy shit, this is great.
Yeah,
so,
I know the feeling. Ron, I forgot I backed your book, and then I backed it again.
I saw you got 2 of them. I'm like, was there a tier for 2 books? I didn't think there was.
Yeah, that's
That happens.
It happens.
No, I definitely done that. I think I backed Cerberus Narwhal's book like 3 times, and I did not intend that, but I had about like 2 extra books. I don't know, maybe he threw in an extra one by accident. I just started gifting them to friends.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Ninja. I was asking Matt Bauer. I said, "Is there any way I could back this book? I don't know why." And and he's like, "Oh man, it's close." And then like 2 days later, it showed up in the mail. I'd forgotten I backed.
Yep. No, that feeling. Yeah, I'm one of those people too. I just back books and I never check on the
I never check the updates. I never check the update.
I really should. You should, but apparently most people do.
My phone goes off. I'm like, oh, it's an update. I don't even look at it.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean,
I'm like, okay, maybe if it's 3 years late, I'll pay attention or something.
Yeah, I mean, basically just check Twitter for updates. You know what I mean? You're following the artists and creators anyway, so you kind of know what's going on.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, if a movie's coming out that I want to see, I don't watch the trailers. You know what I mean? I just, I'm remarkably patient about.
There you go. Yeah, same.
Yeah, I said the name
wrong. Say hi to.
They're teasing me. They're teasing me in the chat that I said Matt's name wrong. It's okay. I called you Renee for like the first 2 times.
It's fine. I mean, it's not my real name anyways. Even Renee isn't my real name, so it's not a problem. Literally, half the people call me Renee instead. Let me say hi to chat real quick. Sure. And then we shall jump into the subject of today's show. First of all, hello everyone. Welcome to my comic promo show. I'm thinking of calling it something else because I've been calling it the HELLION Art Show, but I feel like that name is not very conducive to making it clear that this is a comic promo show. So I've just changed it to Art Show for the last few episodes. I don't know what to do with it. Somebody type your suggestions in chat if you have any ideas. I'm going to get a bunch of joke suggestions. Why did I decide to say that? Anyways, I'll probably make it like comic art show or something like that. But anyways, you guys know this is the Wednesday promo show. Today we're going to be talking about John's book, Heroic Tales #1, that is on Fund My Comic, and I have the link both in the description and it's pinned to the top of the chat, so definitely go check that out. If you don't have time to watch the whole show, then at least click those links and bookmark it or just back the book because it's looking really good and you're definitely not going to want to miss out. If you have a couple hours to stick around, we're going to tell you all about this book, so hopefully you can do that. It's going to be a good show. We got a Bogan raid. Hello, Jolly Green. What's up? Bancroft is here as well. Hi, Michael Rushbrook is also here. Thank you for the raid. There he is. Doug Jonas needs to be longer. No, yeah, I was like, do I have footage of a 30-minute intro? No, I'm gonna not do that. Hello, Gordon Goodbrother. Your complaint is noted. Thank you very much. Hi, JW Learning. What's up? Mark DeMuth, Job Styler, Down Go Solo. Oh, all the regulars are here. Thank you all. Overlord, TC. Hello, Roki. I saw you did a Fiendish 2.5 review. I gotta repost it. I don't know how I missed that. Thank you so much for doing the review and backing the book. Hello, Edwin. Hello, and some person. All these lovely people. Oh, already there's a member chat. Hello, Alex VRB, member for 28 months. Thank you so much. Alex says, hi, Rainy, John, Ron, and the amazing chat. Nice shirt, John. Nice shirt. I'm working out of town. Just got back to the hotel and I'm beat. Have a great stream and good night, everyone. Good night and thanks for
Alex.
Get some rest.
Good night, Alex.
Get some rest, Alex. Thank you for popping in anyways. Jasper Plan 9 is here. Oh, we've got a lot of people here. I'm excited. All right. Yeah. Cool. And Hail the Lore. Cool. And of course, Snarky.
Hail the Lore.
Oh, you guys have suggestions. The Art of Comics. That sounds like an instruction series.
Yeah, that sounds like the textbook that nobody reads.
Yeah. Reenie's comics. It's probably just like comic art show. Or comics.
I saw one that wasn't that bad. Wednesday's Warriors with Reenie.
Yeah, but does that convey it's about comics?
Not one bit. But
well.
It
the Wednesday Warriors are what they called the people who went to the comic shops every Wednesday to get the new comics.
Oh, right, because
nice.
Because it is new comic day.
It's got some pizzazz. That's catchy.
New comics. With 3D, I'm really bad at coming out with names. I'm really terrible. Comics the shit show? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. That's perfect.
Yeah,
the 2024 edition. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
been a rough year so far in our neck of the woods.
Yeah, you don't say. But it's all right. It's gonna get better. That's what we're trying to do here. Making better things.
It's gotta
making
get
good. I mean, you probably could get worse, but we're gonna.
Clever.
That's gonna be far away from us because we're making good comics and we're just keeping this whole machine alive. We have nothing to do with all the crazy bad stuff that's going on. Hey, Ollie's here. What's up? Thanks for joining. Hello, Hero Darky Dark. Oh, I like your name. Can't wait to get Heroic Tales. Yes, yeah. So speaking of Heroic Tales, I like that. Michael, you're a genius. All right. Yeah.
That's nice.
That. Okay. Yeah, I'll duly take a note of that. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's definitely something to work from. That's nice.
Yeah. Puns. Show panel and comic panels. Yeah. Thank you. Good suggestion. All right. So speaking of Heroic Tales, let's start with while I'm pulling the campaign up. John, why don't you let everybody know who you are? Okay. How did this project come about? How did you start writing it? How did you get into comics?
Okay. This is Heroic Tales. I say this. It's a love letter to Blue Sky superhero comics, meaning hopeful good guys are the good guys. I as Rini knows, she's been on my channel a couple of times. I'm a big role player, and I played a role-playing game called Villains and Vigilantes. That's my go-to role-playing game. Me and my buddies still play it. We play it like every third Friday now. It's hard to get adults to do anything. But ever since we were kids, we're like, we should make a comic book about this. It's a superhero role-playing game. And, I've been writing up our stories on a forum. I have the Villains and Vigilantes forum. And it's, and then during COVID, everything stopped. People stopped hanging out. People stopped showing up at your house to play role-playing games. So I, started writing scripts, and I said, someday I want to make a comic book, never thinking I was actually going to do it. Then I started my YouTube channel because I wanted to talk to people during all these lockdowns, and I started talking to people. And then when I saw other people like Richard C. Meyer and RJ from the Fourth Age making comics, I said, if not now, when? So I started making comics, and then talking to people, and people have been very helpful. Renzo Rodriguez is my artist. I said, when I saw his art on RJ's Thomas Valiant, I said, this is what I pictured in my head when I was making my own comics. I can't believe how perfect his art matched with my images in my mind. So I reached out to him and we're working together. And then I said, you know what? For stretch goal, I want to do a backup story. So the front story is the patriarch. He's a good dad. He's a loving father. He's a beloved superhero. He's a good guy. And this story is he just wants to go home, spend time with his family, but you're a superhero. You have obligations. With great power comes great responsibility. So it's all of these things that are just messing him up trying to get home. And it's a pay on to the all the great dads out there. I feel like fatherhood has been getting a bad rap. You know, the dad's always the goofball, dropping the soda, you know, kid, and then the wives all roll their eyes at him. You know, it's been going on for 40 years. And you know, Ron's a dad, you know what I'm talking about. You know, so and then everybody talking about toxic masculinity. So I was like, as a joke one day, I said, I want to make toxic masculinity the superhero. And I was like, the patriarch. But then I started to fall in love with the character. And he went from a joke character to a character that I fell in love with. I really loved so he's just a good guy. He's a loving husband. He loves his wife. He loves his kids. He wants to spend time with them. And in order to protect his family, he has enough power to protect the world. So he's like a father figure. So to me, he's inspired by Superman. Excuse me, my voice has been cracking. I've been promoting on streams constantly. But
no, you're fine.
Yeah, he's he's like an inspirational superhero, like Superman. You know, like he's kind of like the standard bearer. This is the way superheroes should behave. This is the way, you know, like when he lands, all the other superheroes would be like, you know, stand up straight. The patriarch's here, kind of thing. You know, and I think that's kind of lost. Like, yeah, I love The Watchmen. I didn't particularly like Dark Knight Returns, but you know, The Boys I can't stand. You know, I want my superheroes to be good, inspirational, you know, good fathers. He's a patriot. Everything positive about stereotypical manliness, you know. And then I was like, I was thinking for a good stretch goal, I want to do a short story about one of the bad guys. So I reached out to artists, and that's where Ron comes in. We tried out a couple of pages, and then I was like, you know what? Just do it. We'll make the money. Don't worry about the stretch goal. We'll make it. So Ron is doing the 7-page backup, Unheroic Tales.
Nice.
The secret.
Unheroic Tales. Nice.
Yeah. So that's what I want to do going forward, is do a short story about maybe a civilian or a backup character or a villain, you know, in as stretch goals. So Ron and Oscar, who does the colors for us, you know, that's up to the customers. If we hit stretch goals, we'll gladly have Ron back. If anything, his wife will send me a box of cookies, and that.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Any creator I work with gets cookies from Mabel Bakes. So
yeah. His wife,
I gotta hire you then. I want those cookies.
if you hire
Just
me,
for the
if you hire me
cookies.
for a cover, even just a cover, you will get a box of freaking cookies.
Cookies. I want cookies.
they are awesome.
I bet. I
Ask
believe
Ron,
you.
They're awesome.
He sent me a box of cookies, and my wife got mad at me. She's going, "What are you, like, extorting cookies out of these poor creators?" You know, and I was like, and the box shows up, and she's like, "I can't believe you did it." She opens up, she's like, "Oh my god, these cookies are great."
That's what I'm doing, Ron. I need to start sending cookies to everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone will get along.
I'm
easy. Ron knows.
Chris from Nano 13, he's had a couple boxes of cookies. I'm drawing The Well right now for Mark Mulgrave. He got a box, and John got a congratulatory box as well.
Yes, thank you. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
It was funny because they showed up. I was having a game night. I had a bunch of friends over at the table. My wife just put the cookies in the refrigerator, didn't tell anybody what they were. She's not sharing. She went from "how dare you extort these guys for cookies" to "nobody's touching the cookie." She loves the lemon cookies, by the way.
Okay, it's settled. I'm gonna have to work with both of you to get all the
You're
cookies.
Gonna have to work. My wife literally.
Yeah, that's how you solicit for work. Just
there you go.
You see that.
Dude, my wife will literally be kneading the dough, and she'll tell the dough that she loves it. She literally puts love into the cookies. Like, she's amazing.
Oh, that's
yeah,
sweet.
she's the best.
All right, you heard it here first. Everyone, hire Ron for cookies.
For cookies. Forget the art.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit. Cookies.
Oh, and the art, of course, that goes without saying. So for this extra comic that will have Ron's amazing art on it, which, by the way, I think is a great idea, because with stretch goal items, you guys know I love my trading cards. I like throwing in stickers. I like making tchotchkes. But at the end of the day, I think what is most rewarding, because people who are backing these comics are comic fans, is to get more comic material. So I really think the best stretch goals, like especially the big ones, the best choice is having bonus pages or an extra side comic or a mini comic. And if you can manage to get the work done, I think that's fantastic. And you're doing that. So I think that's really great. What was the stretch goal amount for that again? So we can.
I just threw it in the comic. I just got excited.
Oh,
Ron did a couple of
never
pages.
mind.
Yes.
Wait, no, you need to not do that and draw it anyways, and then tell people, look, get us to 10K.
Yeah.
You're doing business wrong.
I know I'm doing business absolutely wrong. My comic's only $10 too, so people,
oh my gosh,
it's too cheap. You didn't do the stretch. I got excited.
No,
I got excited.
Well, if you can afford it, then I'm sure people appreciate it. It's if you can manage it. How many? Let's see. So we've got a couple of good questions, but I'd also like to ask, how many pages is this book?
It's going to be 30 pages. There's a 22-page patriarch story, the introduction to the patriarch, and that story is called Daddy's Home, and then I have I forget if it's 7 or 8 pages, Ron, for the unheroic tales.
I think it was 8. I think it was 8.
Yeah, you did a double page spread, yeah.
Yeah,
and then I got a letters page, which obviously I actually got a letter. So if anybody wants to submit letters to heroicmails@yahoo.com, the subject is fatherhood and what comics and fatherhood and things like that. I'm trying to make it seem like this could have came out next to Old School Avengers or Fantastic Four with the letters page. And then I put some ads in the comic. You know what I mean? Because again, I want this to look like a Bronze Age comic. So I already showed the Matt Bear's artwork he did. Instead of sea monkeys, it's sea hippies. Oh my God, it's awesome. It's so fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I bet people who grew up with that kind of comic would absolutely love that, because I hear a lot. I mean, everyone knows I didn't grow up reading superheroes. Don't come for me. But with from what I've seen, there is a lot of fans who did grow up with superhero comics want a return to form, and they miss the good old days where superhero comics were aspirational and inspirational, and especially all the things you said about having a positive father figure, a positive male figure at all, is sorely lacking nowadays. So this is great to do, and it's just there's no subversion of anything. This is just he's a good guy, he's a role model. That's great.
Yeah, I just got tired of the way like Reed Richards is treated in comic books, and and all the fathers. And they dissolved Peter Parker's marriage. I thought that was just a perfect evolution. So I'm getting excited, and sometimes I get carried away and I can't talk. But Brian Bauer is doing like a Fun Factory ad, like the X-ray specs and everything like that. So that's another ad that's in it. And then Fabrizio Aiello did a hostess ad. So that'll be fun. Oh, could you just scroll back up? I want to talk about that page that you were just showing.
Okay.
This is. Oh no! Back up. The sunset. Yeah, this page right here. I was coming home from work and I was thinking about the back cover. No offense to the back cover, because it's usually just an ad for the printer, and you only get one chance to do your first comic. And I said, on the back cover, I want to put something striking, and like I want to encapsulate what my comic means in one image. And I'm like, here he is, he's home. That's his wife there in the pink shirt, and these are all of his kids. They live on a farm out in the mountains, and that's going to be a story point. Like they're not in hiding, but in a world where there's superpowered villains and things like that, and he's a beloved superhero, the best way to keep them safe is to keep them out of the public eye, because you're not going to see it in the first issue, but his identity is public. His powers came out when his powers developed while he was in public. So everybody knows, and that causes problems. You can imagine, when you're married and, you know how it is on the internet, they start doxing your spouse and things like that. Just imagine if you're with real villains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I
if you
mean,
know,
yeah, I was just thinking, imagine just if you're fighting, actual real villains, but even just Hollywood celebrities deal with so much crazy shit.
right.
This is totally understandable. Yeah, yeah. Anonymity is definitely something that I think people realize should be treasured.
And if you notice the wife there, she's got some scars on her. That's a
Yeah, those are burns, right? Someone says
yeah.
tattoos. Those look like burns to me.
Yeah, it's
So
not
she got to
tattoos,
have a
it's burns.
story.
It's burns, and
Oh.
that story will I think be in issue 3 if we get that far. Yeah, and
Okay.
again, even in the artwork that was scrolled by, this not Easter eggs, but like foreshadowing for stories that are because I've had
Cool.
these stories in my head for like 20 years. And
Oh,
then
yeah, I bet. Because
yeah,
you're such a longtime comics fan. I bet you've just been building up ideas for all this time. This is going to be epic.
yeah, I hope so. I'm so excited. And then the pages below, I just want you got to put a couple of pages. I wanted everybody to see the internal art by Renzo. I didn't do a bait and switch, just get a good cover artist and then throw some garbage art. This is excellent. That's Boss
Oh,
Moxie.
yeah.
Your boy Zach, Diversity in Comics, he always used to joke around. Don't comics start with a bank robbery anymore? So I was like, he was a
So you do have.
he's a construction worker foreman who just woke up one day talking like a 30s gangster and just started like robbing banks. Like, what's that, like Babyface Nelson? Which will be explained. I think Rini knows this already, that the city of Science City itself was designed and the blueprints were done by a magician. So he's an architect and a magician, and he designed it based on Lee lines and sigils and everything like that. But of course, the industrialist Philip Manning, who built the city, changed to make ends meet. So this magic spell is, instead of causing a perfect utopia, it's causing people to wake up and rob banks. That'll be a plot point in the story. So these are his beautiful henchmen, and I just love. I just told Renzo, make them hot. It's a comic book, and I think he followed directions.
Yeah, I like how he made them look like showgirls as well.
Yeah.
His art is so good.
It's conspicuous. He's robbing banks in broad daylight. If you don't care and you want the fame, you're gonna get hot showgirls, right? And
I'm looking at the back. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just gonna mention. I'm looking at the background design as well. I love the You can tell he puts thought into the background design. You see that glass ceiling and everything. I mean, usually you can draw a bank that's a normal looking bank, but this adds that visual interest. I really appreciate when artists add a little flair to their backgrounds, because I know most people don't like doing that. I just want to point that out.
There's dirigibles and there's a statue in the background. These are all like parts of the city that.
Yeah, dirigibles. Oh, that's cool. I love that. I love that so much. I wish airships were still a thing.
Yeah, well, there's still a thing in Science City. That you'll see that when Ron draws the unheroic tales for the Philip Manning, the industrialist, the Lex Luthor character. And then you see this is page 1 of, obviously it's not lettered yet, but if you scroll down, this was page 2, and this was the first page that Renzo sent me, and I was like, because he wanted to draw the debut of the patriarch, and I just love that. I gotta put the drawing of the patriarch that I sent to Renzo. You guys will laugh.
Oh no! Yeah, we have to see. Put it. Yeah. You should put it on the campaign. People like seeing that stuff, though. All the process work.
Yeah,
even
it's so
early
funny.
Sketches.
I forget who it was, but I showed them the pictures that I drew, and their comment was, "What did everybody have those formaldehyde flippers? Those babies from the? Do you even know what I'm talking? In the 70s, those people took that medicine. Their babies were born with flippers instead of hands.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's really. Yeah, look that up, Ron. It's horrible.
Thalidomide.
Yeah, yeah, that's the word. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's how bad I draw that.
I remember that. I mean, I don't remember, but I know about it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's how you spell Henry Bemis. Thank you. But look at this. I saw that. I'm not gonna, I got emotional. This is like my character now, drawn, colored. Daniel De La Silva Rodriguez is the colorist. He's the same colorist that Dave Brink has on Perfect 10.
I was going to bring a perfect 10 because I'm like, these colors and the whole look reminds me of perfect 10. And
Perfect
I was wondering why. Now I know.
Perfect 10, if you ask me, if they
great.
bring to the chat, that is the best independent superhero comic. And I if my comic is half as good as Perfect 10, I'll be happy. You know, he's knocking it out of the park.
Oh,
Somebody's
yeah,
saying slow
non-stop
down,
action.
John. I've been chugging coffee because normally I'm in bed by now. So sorry, guys.
Well, you don't have to if you want to break, that's fine because I am very good at talking as well. So you can leave the talking to me if you want to break. Don't worry at all. I can run my mouth all day. Wasn't it the first? No, that I don't know if it was, but that was horrible.
I think it was for
something else.
Yeah, was it for like morning sickness or something like that?
Yeah, I think it was pregnancy related, but it was ridiculous.
And they were told it was safe. You know,
trust the FDA, folks.
Yeah,
the
the government can always be trusted. If they say it's safe, right? Yeah.
Yep.
No, maybe not. I was going to ask something that I forgot what. Hail, yes. Oh, by the way, guys, I think it should be up. I added a couple emojis, so anybody who is a channel member, go take a look. That should be fun. Hey, student of God, what's up? I wanted to ask. Right, this is what I was going to ask. Who designed the costume? Was it you? You said you did a sketch.
Yeah.
All right. I'm wondering what your thought process was behind it, because superhero costumes are deceptively hard to design because, first of all, there's been so many, and you want to design one that stands out and isn't. It's aesthetically pleasing, but doesn't look like anything else that's came before, and that's hard. But this is so simple, and I do think, with my limited knowledge of superhero costumes, I do think it stands out, and I can't think of another character with that balance of colors, because that's what I was taught with superhero costumes. It's like how Batman has a color scheme. It's blue, yellow, or purplish blue, yellow, and black. And then Superman is the yellow, blue, and red in those proportions that appears on their costume. And here is that royal purple. I think that's silver and gold. I don't think I've seen that before. And also there's a lot of regality to the costume here. That's the first thing that I thought of, because that purple is that royal color that is
absolutely right.
In ancient times or whatever, I don't know what the term for it is, but that used to be a expensive color. And also his insignia reminds me of the Roman sigil. Was that intentional?
Yes. Well, his name is the Patriarch, and and that's a Roman word or Greek word, and so I have a degree in Roman Greek history, and
oh boy, we need to get you on a show with Michael Odin. It'll be an 8-hour show about Rome. I didn't know you had a degree in Roman history. Shit.
Yeah, I'm the most educated construction worker you'll ever meet. And then when I was talking about all the positive stuff about masculinity, that meme came out, like, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? And I'm like, well, I think about it every day. And then a guy named the Patriarch, he would think about Greece and Rome. So purple is the color of the Roman emperor. It's the Phoenicians, the sea people, they harvested the dye, and it was expensive, so purple became a color associated with royalty. And the laurel wreath is the sign of victory, in Rome. And then I was just like, all right, what goes with purple? White, because it's pure. He's a pure good guy. Gold, because gold, you'll see in issue 2, gold is something very important throughout the comic. So that is, just foreshadowing, or not foreshadowing. Yeah, I guess foreshadowing is the right word. So, and then if he's the Patriarch, I think the Greek Orthodox Church has the term of Patriarch. So the wife is a Greek Orthodox. He's Irish and Italian. Because I wanted him to have some sort of connection to the to Rome. So I you of all people could appreciate, like, I got like a whole background of him and his family, and all 7 of his kids have different interests.
Yeah, I do appreciate that. You've thought about all this. I mean, you said you've been thinking about this for 30 years, so you probably have the kids' futures all planned out. You know exactly what's going to happen, and
Well,
just this whole
just
world,
just
adventure
like
paths all day.
Marcus Aurelius, the great, one of the greatest like Roman emperors, philosophers, of leaders of all time. His biggest mistake was his kid Commodus, who became the we all saw Gladiator, that was actually tame compared to what Commodus actually did. And he's trying to protect his kids, but now his son's 19 years old. He wants to leave the farm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what there'll be some tension and things like that. He's going to say to his father in one of the issues, "Dad, am I a prisoner here?" The boy working on the tractor over there.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, yeah, that's just good character development. That sounds like a natural thing for
Right.
young people to come to it. But the other kids might have different viewpoints. I mean, this is just the kind of stuff you would naturally come to if you commit to a concept and really think about the characters and write from inside the characters out, not dictating from them from the outside. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've managed that. It sounds like you have managed that. By the way, this image I wanted to say earlier reminds me, if you guys know of Charles Wysocki, he's an American painter that paints a lot of Americana countryside paintings. It's a little obscure, but I love his work. It's like this weird isometric stuff,
Cool.
super wholesome Americana, just like 1800s farming scenes, turkey farms, and all the kind of stuff, pumpkin harvests. Lovely, and this looks exactly like it, so it made me happy. That's all. I just
Cool.
want to
Yeah, I described this to Renzo while on the train. I was just like, "Can you draw it like?" I'm talking because I don't want people trying to sleep. Well, can you draw it like this? I said, "Yeah." And he got all excited. He goes, "Drop what you're doing," and so because I wanted to use this as promo, and what I pictured is even better. And then when Daniel colored it, oh my God! Even Renzo was just like, "Oh my God, the colors are so good."
Yeah,
I
colors are great.
That's what he wants to come home to every day. He wants to hold that baby every day. But when there's supervillains with gravity powers and and evil spellcasters and ancient evils and space aliens, all the stuff will happen sooner or later. The first 10 issues I got I need to say this. It's a complete story. Like Ron's story is a complete story. The Patriarch story is a complete story. Every issue is a complete story. Like I feel like it's a big ask to ask people to wait, for a long, so for a superhero story, I want each issue to stand alone, but it builds on the next. So you will be rewarded if you read every issue in order. But if you miss an issue, which I hope you don't, you'll be able to pick up and go with it. Because I'm trying to do the old Marvel Jim Shooter method. Every issue will be somebody's first issue. I don't want anybody being confused. But after 10 issues,
no, that's
it's going to build like an old Marvel comic. It'll reward you.
That's something
that's smart.
Like I miss that in comics. Like when I'm reading when I was trying to catch up on Batman and stuff like that, let's say from the past 3 or 4 years, these storylines are like 2 years long. And it's almost like exhausting to get through just one storyline in a regular comic now. And I'm like, what happened to like maybe a 2-issue story at most? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just a beginning, a middle, and an end. Holy God.
I don't mind waiting 2 months for a story, but let's be realistic.
But some of these stories are exhausting. Like every story is this huge world-spanning, world-changing thing. That's like, I'm getting tired. This is just too much. And then I missed the older comics where it's like, I pick up a comic, I read it, I love it, we're done.
Right. What Ron said, I want it to be one and done every issue. If I need to tell a longer story, I'll make a longer issue. Maybe in the future, because I'm not even joking. I assembled the Avengers of people making comics. You know what I mean? And maybe we could do it a little faster. But right now, until I don't feel it's for superheroes. I mean, if you're doing a fantasy epic, yes, that's a different story. But for superheroes, I think one issue is the best for superhero stories.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for all types. There's a time and a place for all kinds of storytelling. It doesn't all have to be huge. it can be just a one and done. It could be a 6 issue. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you are attempting a return to form for superhero comics, and this is how superhero comics started. It was with contained stories, and honestly, another point that I think this would be really helpful because I like long form stories, but I can see how having self-contained stories that are one issue limited and you can jump in at any point, that will bring in new readers, and comics really need new readers right
Yeah.
now, especially younger readers, especially kids. And that's one of the biggest problems that I think the comics industry in America has as a whole. You don't have that because in manga, I've talked about this before as well, there's a range of
Yes.
story lengths. You have the episodic manga for the younger kids because younger kids are not going to be following long sweeping stories. Even One Piece is kind of for like older kids, and you work your way up to crazy stuff like Berserk. But not every comic needs to be the same way. You need to have something that's episodic that will bring in a younger audience, and this is perfect, it seems, because it's also wholesome. So that's what I see this appealing to.
What you said, this is also all ages.
Perfect, yeah.
It's funny because Ron knows exactly what I'm talking about. There's one panel in that Ron drew that I'm like, he drew it so good that it might shock people. So I actually thought, but you know what? Bad guys are bad guys. So
you had me. I mean, yeah, that. And I will honestly tell you, because I have kids, it was a little bit of a hard panel for me. It wasn't horrific, but it was a little bad guy-ish. But I'm like, no, this is part of the story. You know what I mean? And it's definitely the unheroic part.
Yeah. The bad guys are bad guys. The good guys are good guys.
Yeah.
I will have sympathetic villains because I do think that's interesting, but they don't exist in this comic, this particular issue. The bad guys are bad. Excuse me.
It's good to keep it, just straightforward. That's okay. Not everything needs to be subversive or something. Douglas Mikes, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate it. Thank you for the link to Down Go Solo. Yes, appreciate the mods posting links. Let me get to a few chats that I saw.
By Pat Broderick, one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. Pat Broderick, for those of you who don't know, to me, when I first started collecting comics in 1974, Pat Broderick was drawing Captain Marvel, with Marvel, with Drax the Destroyer and Gamora and all of those wonderful space characters. And I loved them. Then later on, he did Firestorm and Captain Atom and Lords of the Ultra Realm. Right now, he's doing Bronze Star with Mike Barron. So Mike Barron was on a panel with me, and I asked him afterwards if it would be. He goes, "Yeah, sure. The guy's a professional. He wants to work." So he asked him, and next thing you know, I got a cover by one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. I was like, "Oh my god,
that's awesome!" Yeah, that rendering, I could tell that was him right away. Just that hatching that he did on Bronze Star too. That's sweet.
I love his art, and also, I'm not telling tales out of school. I will be going to Kickstarter. I will be going to Indiegogo, and I have 2 other variant covers, one by Michael T. Gilbert, who did Mr. Monster, and one by Mike Gustovich, who did the Justice Machine. So
all right.
I'm trying to do classic comics, so I got classic superhero comic book artists to do variant covers. So altogether, there'll be 4 covers. One. This is exclusively on Fund My Comic. One will be on Kickstarter. One will be on Indiegogo. I don't know which order I'm going to go on them yet, but whatever.
Right. Yeah. I was wondering that. So you will do platform exclusive covers.
Correct.
After this one. Okay.
And I also had an idea. I'm going to take that back cover, and I want to make a Father's Day card, as an add-on.
Oh, yeah.
My superhero father, get it printed on cardstock. So that won't be on this campaign. It's too late, but either or both of the other 2 platforms, I'll have a Father's Day card.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just perfect. There's so many father things you could frame this around. You can start an email list, email stories of like monthly newsletters of famous fathers and all this kind of stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I think I like coming up with these ideas. Also, email lists are good. Use email lists, everybody. Fusebox for 5. Thank you so much for the $5. Outlaw Knights issue 1 has hit its goal. Congrats, but we can't stop there. The world must know. Yes, everybody go check out Outlaw Knights. Thank you so much for the super chat. If someone could please drop the link, I would appreciate that. Yeah, it's science fiction. So if you like sci-fi comics, go take a look at that. Yeah, Father's Day card is a great idea. That's true. That's true. Snarky is asking for an American Gothic homage cover.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That is a really good idea. I'm so mad I didn't think of it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Snarticon, is that how you say it? That is a. Oh man, now I'm mad.
Well, you have the next issue. Oh, here's another question. So, how long are you planning on running the story? Do you have an end in mind?
I have 20 scripts of various stages of completion. And this is a good time to mention this. My original idea for the comic was, it's called Heroic Tales, not the Patriarch, because it was going to be different superheroes. And then I realized that was a bad idea. You dance with the one that brought you to the ball. You know what I mean? So people seem to like the Patriarch. I've been getting fan art of the Patriarch, and people telling me what you're talking about with fatherhood. I really like this. So I think it would really be a bad idea to drop the Patriarch. So going forward, and Renzo's already started issue 2, is it's going to be a flip book. So cover A, the first cover, it's going to be the Patriarch, a full Patriarch story. And then when you flip it over, it's going to be the other characters that I wanted to tell stories about. So.
Oh, wait. So it'll be half and half?
Yes. 2 complete stories every issue.
Okay. So that's next issue going forward.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
next
right?
issue going forward. And then if I hit stretch goals, I'll do it properly this time. Ron will be doing Unheroic Tales, because I already got the bad guy stories for the next issue that I want to get. But I got a little carried away, and I made a little expensive book. So but
that means you love what you do.
First comic,
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you've just been chomping at the bit, and this is finally it. You're finally making your comic. How long have you been
Renzo is done with the art. Ron is already done with the art. Ron's story's already completed and colored, and I'm just going over some of the dialogue so I could send it to Bill Williams, and he's going to do the lettering, and then Unheroic Tales is done. The ads are coming in. I got two of the 3 ads in already, done and colored, and the letters page, I'm just holding off to see if anybody wants to throw any more letters into it, and then of course you do the editorial talking about like the idea of comics. And I am thinking about I was going to do it in the middle, a 2-fold map of the city, but I think I'll put that in issue 2, because we got. It's $10 because I want comics to be affordable. I can't make it any lower, and it's funny that people were giving me nasty DMs. This is too cheap. This is too cheap.
Well, they do want you to make money, but if you have honestly your page count at $30, that is realistic that you can print a page count 30 pages, not $30. If you can't get it printed for $10, that's like, without factoring out, that would be cutting it close. But I can see that possible if you find a printer that can do that. So great. I hope you're actually making a profit on it. It sounds like you're not, but I feel like your goal is getting it out. Yeah, I feel like your goal is getting the comic out. So, and our goal is always to make the backers happy, and the fact that you are providing this more affordably, that's good. Especially because you're trying to make a book that's all ages, that kids can read, and that's just a pity I see I think this book would do really well in comic shops and in a place where kids could access it, and you could get it into the hands of like the younger generation that needs this type of story. But that can come in the future.
Yes.
You do well.
I have long-term plans, but I gotta do step 1. I'd like to get into comic stores. I was telling you about my role-playing game. For the stretch goals, I'm doing cards for all the characters. For every 1,000, I'll unlock another card. So we got the Patriarch card unlocked, we got the Boss Moxie card unlocked, and then next will be the 3 henchwomen, and then the main villain who hasn't been revealed yet. And then I realized I didn't make a card for Ron's character that he drew, so that'll be an unannounced stretch goal if we hit that. And then I joke around, but I'm not joking around. If we hit 10,000, Ron and Renzo are coming to New York and we'll autograph comics and get some good pizza, you know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then
That's news to me. I didn't even
Yeah,
know. So, okay.
Now you know.
Now I know.
you could deliver the cookies right to Renzo.
Yeah, I'll obviously bring the cookies.
Yeah. And then I joke, but I dream at the same time because we're dreamers here. 100,000 Reenie's coming to New York, and we're playing a role-playing game, and she's gonna make Casimir the character, and we're gonna Renzo will be the patriarch.
You don't even need to make 100,000 for that to happen. Oh,
you know.
I mean, if I'm up for New York Comic Con, we're definitely gonna play some D&D. You know.
There you go.
That's gonna happen. I already have him built. Don't worry.
Oh, but we got to turn him into Villains Vigilante stats. And,
yeah. Okay. Ooh,
and that's going to be on the back of the card. I actually spoke to the owner of Villains Vigilantes, and he gave me his blessing to use the stats. And then he said, "How about when you're around issue 6 or so, we make a source book of all your characters?" I was like, you know,
yeah,
great.
Yes, I love that kind of stuff. That kind of expansion. Honestly, comics, regardless of if it's superhero or fantasy, fit expansions into role-playing games so well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great way to expand into different media because animation is expensive. Video games are expensive. You can, make a tabletop game for a relatively low price point, and it ties in so well. So I think that's perfect. Perfect.
Well also, something that I'm thinking of down the line is Heroic Tales, the role-playing game. And because I've been house ruling Villains Vigilantes for so long, I think it's time to break free. I got a comment on Comment Cowboy said Chicago pizza. He's talking about. I love Chicago pizza, even though I grew up in New York. Even though I had a pizzeria, I was a part owner of a pizzeria. I'm not one of these people that say it has to be this or that. Pizza is freaking good. Just like blondes and brunettes are beautiful, black girls are beautiful, Indian girls are beautiful, Japanese girls are beautiful. Chicago pizza is good pizza. New York pizza is good pizza. So I'm not, I love
I'll
pizza.
Take sides.
What's that?
I'll take sides. I'm on New York side. I want that stuff flat. None of that deep dish stuff. Oh, it's gross. Please, please. My God, you want to have diabetes?
Diabetes.
New York. Sorry, my dad's from New York, but I also do like New York pizza. Booyah!
Oh yeah, New York. Oh, yeah, Rod, you're up by Buffalo, right?
Yeah, right between Buffalo and Rochester.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this game definitely has to happen.
Yeah, Ron.
I want to make New York Comic Con.
What's that?
In the role playing game, what character would you be?
Oh Lord, I don't have a clue. I don't. and here's the thing. You know what? I don't know. I haven't read your story. I've only read the story that
everybody's got to be their character. That's the whole. Like Brian Bauer's going to come. He'll be Wolf and Batsy, and Fabrizio will be Horsey Hoover.
A character that I created.
Yeah.
Well,
pizza's overrated.
I'd have to say I might win then because the only character that I've got on the board right now is Nagara from Sector 7 that myself and Matt Boyd created. Matt Boyce, not Matt Boyd. Matt Boyce created about 10 years ago, and that's a pretty giant. That's a kaiju. That's gonna be That's gonna be a handful for Patriarch. I gotta tell you that.
Okay.
Ooh,
I will say this. I think issue 4 might have the kaiju. I don't know if it's 4 or 5, but there'll be a kaiju in
you will have a kaiju.
You'll have a kaiju?
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to do a special cover for that one. I want to do a special cover for that. Yeah.
He's like, yes, work.
Work. Just more cookies, more work. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey,
the whole chat got derailed talking about pizza now. Everybody's fighting.
Yeah, it's descended. I've started a fight. Oh, what have I done?
It's funny. I will tell you.
You might think there's no such thing as bad pizza because of where we live. We're in New York and wherever. You go. I lived in Florida for 10 months. It's impossible. It's impossible. You cannot get good. I went to Florida. I don't know, Reenie, like where you live, but if you've ever had like buffalo wings, okay, John, buffalo wings probably in New York City, but you can't even buffalo wings in Florida. They didn't even there's a place that didn't even deep fry them. They baked them, and we're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah,
there's something about the only good places down south that had a good pizza they would actually ship the dough from New York. There's something about the salt content in the air that like changes everything. It does.
It's in the air.
Seriously. So when you move to Florida, or when you go to Florida, if you're there for an extended period of time, you'll taste the salt in the air. It actually changes your taste buds. So then when I came back to New York, my taste buds had to change back because the air is literally different. It's very strange.
But New York City is by the sea as well.
I'm from Western New York. I'm from the other New York. I'm from the other New York. Yeah.
Oh, you're from the rest of New York,
I'm
right?
from the rest of New York.
That we forget about. My apologies.
John's in the real New York. I'm in some weird hybrid New York. Yeah.
No. You're still in New York.
I'll tell my bad pizza story. I went to Atlanta to visit a friend years ago.
Oh no!
And so my friend from New York, we went down to visit a third friend. So he took us to get pizza. And he's like, "Yeah, this is the best pizza around." You know, I'm like, "Okay." And he was apologizing over before. So we're in there, and the guy, he has the pizza peel. He puts the pizza in the oven and he's cutting it and he gives it to me. And I just whispered to Chris, I go, "Man, this pizza is effing awful." And the guy behind the counter, maybe I'm loud or whatever, but the guy behind the counter literally jumped over the counter with the pizza peel and swung it over my head. He's like, "I had enough of this." I had to like block pizza peel break. I'm punching the guy in the face. I'm like, "Get out of here!"
An overreaction, my God.
And Dennis
I can only assume maybe he's heard that too many times.
Yeah, he heard it too many.
And you were
maybe
just
he
the straw, dude.
stuck at his job.
Yeah, but I just laugh. I'm defending myself, fighting, and Dennis is. I paid for the pizza.
Your friend is. What was the pizza place? You need to let me know because I live in Atlanta. We do have a couple of good pizza places.
Center. I just remember it was right by the convention. I'm talking 92. It can't.
It's forever. Okay,
he's probably in prison, making pizzas in prison by now.
Probably, yeah. Fucking punching people for saying you suck. Yeah, whatever.
But I'm like, what did I do?
That's kind of funny, but fucking crazy. Yeah, it's Atlanta for you. We do have good pizza, but they're authentic Italian places run by Italian families. So
and then
that's how.
My wife is from Canada. We went to Vancouver to visit her uncle, and her uncle, nicest guy in the world, big gregarious, big guy. He looks like the brother-in-law from Breaking Bad. This big bald guy. Likes his beer bowl. Just a cool guy. He's like, "I'm gonna take you to the best pizzeria in town," and it was just awful. But I ate it with a smile on my face. I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
You don't know any better. But if you don't know any better, it's the best pizza in town.
Right. And what about he was being nice, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. That's like Americans with all Asian food. Like recently it's gotten better, but I remember it used to be atrocious. Like it was horrible. the Chinese food and the Japanese food that used to be here when I first moved here in like 2008, horrible.
I gotta say, I think New York State's got pretty good Asian food. I think we have
New York.
Yeah. Well,
probably New York and San Francisco. It would be decent.
San Francisco
like tons of Asians there, but Atlanta had like just all the Asian food was garbage until recently.
I mean, I wouldn't go to Kansas and order sushi. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's certain places where you want to kind of pick and choose your Asian food.
I lived in Flushing, which is majority Chinese. So it had like I used to call it Klingon food because it was just like fried jelly.
It was still moving.
Moving.
Everything is broiled. Everything is, you know what I'm saying? Like real Chinese food, everything is just broiled in soy sauce. That's it. Like getting the 3 a.m. Chinese food, that's American stuff. Okay, that's not what we actually eat.
It's just like Italian food. I while I was live yesterday, my wife gave me a tray of manicotti because she wanted me to eat it while it was still hot. And Michael Bancroft was in the chat. He's like, "What the hell is manicotti?" I'm like, "How do you not know what manicotti is? Manicotti." Yeah. But it's
what is manicotti?
He's Australian.
Oh, you don't even know. It's like a disc of like pasta, and then you fill it with cheese and you roll it up, and then you put sauce and cheese on. So it's like I joke around. It's an Italian cheese burrito.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but it's like a lasagna, a tube shaped lasagna.
The Italians, the Italians be crazy.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I just assumed everybody would know manicotti. Anybody in the chat?
No, they don't. They don't.
No, we're not cultured enough. Not cultured enough. All right, before we get to
yeah, no, we're in the week. My chat's
I
always involved into food. I
would love to talk about food, but we can do that more. You can tell us about the food in the world of your comic. Do you have? Here's an important question. Do you have pages and pages of the characters sitting in a coffee shop, just drinking coffee and doing nothing at all?
Yes, that's exactly
very important to have in comics, sir.
Yeah, I know. They're talking about the nature of their relationship and sexuality on page 7.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, that's how you know. That's how you know you're doing it right.
There's a splash page of them brushing their teeth.
Because it's actually super heroics and attractive women and bad guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
this page is
him,
beautiful.
like he's smiling now. He's trying to go home because the sun is going down. He wants to be with his family. But one of his things is, I as a joke, I was like, he has the male gaze. That's one of his powers. But what he does is he has like clairvoyance. So he could close his eyes and literally send out his 5 senses at the speed of thought and detect things. But while he does it, he's vulnerable because literally his senses aren't in his body. So he'll only do it when he's in a safe spot, because right now he could be taken out. You know what I mean? He's deaf, dumb, and blind, and he sees this car going off the cliff. So he's like, okay, I got to take care of this. And I put the scene in because I wanted people to know that he's vastly different than Superman. He's first off, he's vastly weaker. And if you scroll up, you'll see that, I mean, scroll down. I'm sorry. You can see, he's repairing the car with touch. So it was a secret, but the stretch goal has been unlocked. His powers are going to be explained on the back of the card. He's telekinetic and psychic. He has more in common with, like, say, Jean Grey than Superman. And, he's lifting the car, but he's really lifting it telekinetically.
Right. But he's repairing the car as well.
Is that how he flies too? Does he use his telekinesis on his body?
Yes.
That's great.
So he lifts himself telekinetically.
That's awesome.
Like, he can point to you and move you, but he kind of, he'll pick up the car telekinetically, but it looks like he's lifting the car.
I can't wait to read the story. Like I said, I still haven't read I didn't get
that's
that
right.
script,
You never read the front. And if you scroll down a bit, I just want to show this. Oh no! Leave it there. Go back. Look at the little girl, little boy. Rini, I don't know if you'd recognize what's in their hands. Little Easter eggs for my friends.
Oh, Wolf and Betsy! Oh, that's great! That's so cute.
Brian Bau's character for his comic Wolf and Betsy, which we're delivering now. So and I say this to people: Horace H. Hoover is in the comic, but he's not in the comic. That's the way I'm teasing that. Horace H. Hoover is my friend Fabrizio's character, formerly of Alterna, and he'll be. So I made a joke that Wolf and Betsy and Horace H. Hoover are cartoons that the Patriarch's kids watch. And
that's great. I saw that's a great homage. And I saw a legally distinct Naruto earlier, which I was very amused by. That kind of stuff is great.
That kid is all into role-playing games and everything. There's going to be a story called Dungeon Crawl, because I can't say Dungeons and Dragons,
right?
Where they're playing Dungeons and Dragons. So I'll have Renzo drawing orcs and goblins, and you know what I mean. And then it'll tie into the main superhero story, flashback. So I'm just having a blast. Changing tire was a superpower to women.
Yes, that is the one superpower. We can do everything except change a tire. Yes. Oh well, that's how it is.
I gotta get going, guys.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna spend some time with the wife before we get too tired.
Oh, of course. Channel 13, your comic. Are you gonna have a second chance campaign or anything? Got to plug my buddies.
What's that?
For Nano 13, your comic. Are you gonna have
that's up to Chris. I mean, that's up to Chris. I'm just the artist and the letterer. So, but that's up to Chris. I don't know what Chris is gonna play things a little differently. from what he's told me. But I'm already working on number 2, like right now. I just did the wraparound cover for number 2. You probably saw it, John. I did post that. So yeah, it's, but I don't know for number 1. That's a Chris Faction question. So I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
All
Well,
right.
is there anywhere people can sign up for updates or follow you?
Follow me or Chris. So it's at Chris Faction on Twitter, or at, and I'm not even sure of my own freaking name, Romo Art or Romo2 Art on
Romo2
Twitter.
Arts.
Is it Romo? See, John, you always help me out because I'm so bad at marketing. I don't remember my own freaking name.
Let me full screen you so they can see your name better. There you go. There it is.
Yeah, Romo Art. It'll be like Romo2 Art, like John said. And
Okay.
And then on Facebook, I think it's the same, like Romo Art or Romo2 Art. You'll find me.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Thank
Fantastic.
you very much, guys. I really appreciate
Yeah,
it. Have
thank
a good
you
night,
for
okay?
Good talking to you again, Ron.
Yeah.
Good night. Have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, he's such a good guy.
Hey.
I hope we hit the stretch goal in issue 2 so I could have him do a story that I think is important and needs to be told. So I know me. I'm just going to go ahead and do it whether we get the stretch goal or not. Because
you're bursting at the seams with excitement, but you gotta slow down. I mean, I know that feeling though. It's especially the first book. It's just it's such an exciting thing, and especially you're funded, right? I didn't even take a look at first. It looks like you're funded. You're at like 4,000 something.
Yeah, I'm at 4,000.
Yeah, and this book is, and you're almost done with the book, so the book is happening.
Oh, the book is happening. Issue.
Yeah.
Well, again, I don't know if I'm saying the wrong thing, but I took it on the arm for the first issue, and what we're really doing is funding the second issue. You know what I mean? And then issue 2 will fund the third issue. So this is 4,000. So I already know I need to just tone it down because I made mistakes. I hired people I shouldn't have hired. You know.
That's just how it is though. You have to find your team, like find your people, and that's just any business, and especially with comics. But once you do find your people, it's great. And now that the campaign is funded, you're and the book is also nearly done, at least with this issue. You're funding for
we just have to color 3 more pages and then letter it, and
right. Right, so you're funding for printing costs. So that's another good point about anyone who is thinking of backing this book, which you definitely should. Link is in the chat, by the way. This book is almost done, and it is definitely funded, so it's gonna happen. And it looks like it's gonna be a quick turnaround. So you will be getting your books in short order if you like superheroes.
Yeah, I think, what did I say? October it'll be delivered, but
okay.
I'm doing the Star Trek thing. I'm giving you a later date and hoping for earlier. You know what I mean? Because
that's
I'm anticipating every mistake in the world. You know how Scotty says, "I need 4 hours, Captain," and then he does it in a half hour. That's what I'm doing with my delivery. I'm giving you a longer delivery date, but it'll be earlier.
Yeah, that's smart. Yeah, and especially if you have the book almost already done. I've discovered the same thing. You can always give yourself like 3 extra months, and what I've discovered is I'll give myself 3 extra months, and it'll still be down to the last minute because that's just how things go. So that's why I'm also approaching my next book the same way. I'm finishing everything, well, except at least all the inks before even launching. It's just peace of mind, at least for yourself too. It's a horrible feeling to be rushing. I don't want to rush things, and I'd rather actually just have most of the work done, and people will get their books on a shorter time scale. I think that's good.
Yeah.
Let me get to a couple of super chats.
Chat
Intermission real quick, if you don't mind. Down goes Solo for $5. Thank you so much. Down goes Solo says, "John's inspired me. Can I have 2 more covers for 2 more platforms?" Wait, are you asking me? Yeah, sure. I could, because I'm totally not overloaded with work, but I would like.
Oh, I already asked. I think
if I can schedule it.
I think you'll be free around issue 3 for me.
Also, yeah, I am so just loaded with work, but I also need more work. It's just my schedule's a mess. It's really frustrating because I have a ton of work But then a bunch of other work took longer than I expected, so now I've been playing catch up with a bunch of covers, but that also means I don't have a lot of time to work on Fiendish, and Fiendish 3 is not progressing as quickly as I thought, but it's good. It's a really good chapter, but it's just not progressing as quickly. But since I don't have a campaign yet, it's fine. Like, I'm not breaking any promises. It's just frustrating, but it's fine. Yeah, Dagozilla, I would love to do more covers. Send all the covers my way. Yes, thank you. Lieutenant Hughes for $2. Thank you so much. Back Heroic Tales, Renzo did his thing with a fish fuck emoji. Thank you. Yeah, by the way, people were asking about the fish fuck emoji. It's a channel joke that goes way back to when I was streaming with my friends AC and Yvonne. And we made a character on stream called Fish Fuck. It was like a dorky fish character that was like in a Boy Scout uniform. It was dumb. We're idiots. Anyways, channel
but it
lore.
was fun. It sounds fun.
Yeah, it was a D&D character. Well, it wasn't meant that way, but we statted him out. Anyways, we're idiots.
Oh, that sounds...
It was so funny. It was a fish person. Just imagine like a little fat, Boy Scouts uniform, but like the head is a puffer fish head. That's like real goofy. Like,
I got to see this. You got to put this on Twitter so I can check it out.
Yeah, I will send it to you.
Henry asked, is there... He came in late. Yes, there's a Pat Broderick variant cover that's exclusive to Fund My Comic.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, let's go back and let's look at all the covers again for people who just came in. People are asking about. Okay, the dick belt is also a channel joke. If you know, you know. Oh my gosh. People are going to think I'm real weird. It's channel jokes. It's all jokes from my streams. That was from a stream with Allie. Yeah.
It builds a community. You guys have all these inside jokes.
It's just a belt. I swear. It's just a belt. But anyways. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Let's go back down the campaign. And actually, let's refresh and see if this has gone up. So... 136 backers. Yes, there's one more backer. Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you so much, everyone. Everyone, if you're watching right now and this campaign looks good to you, then definitely back it.
It's definitely coming out. And I mean, Renzo's art, to me, he's one of the best modern superhero artists. I'm lucky to have him. He's such a pleasure to work with, and he's so excited about everything. I sent him a bunch of bad sketches today for issue 2, and he's like, "These are awesome." He saw my terrible artwork.
Oh, that's funny. Well, I mean, it's the designs, so that's what's important. Like,
you asked me this before, and I get distracted easy. But when you were saying about superhero costumes, to me, when Jack Kirby was doing 10 comics a month, and John Buscema was doing. They didn't have time to do all of these extraneous lines. So to me, a superhero comic just became by default simple and elegant. The least amount of lines is better. Mm-hmm. So I took that to heart. I want a simple and elegant costume. And I think the Patriarch's costume, when I designed it, it's simple. There's not a wasted line on that. There's no the pockets.
Yeah.
The Jay Lee, just weird lines. As much as I love Jay Lee, but don't mess with Superman's costume. And then a symbol. You got to have a symbol, and then you got to. These are the 3 components to a superhero. You got to have a symbol. You got to have a name that matches your powers or your motif, and the simple and elegant costume.
Mm-hmm, so, yeah, very iconic is the word that I think people should remember when designing a superhero costume. It has to be memorable and simple, iconic, iconized. That's an actual design term, iconization.
So here's the tiers. $10 plus shipping.
Oh, you want to finish going? Have we gone down all the pages? Let's
I think there was one more page left.
Okay, yeah. Let's hold on. There are some people that just came in, so let's scroll past the covers and introduce them real quick. This is the Fund My Comic exclusive by Renzo Rodriguez.
This is the regular cover. This is going to be on every platform. I didn't even realize. So that I guess that's the next one is the Pat Broderick. That's Fund My Comic exclusive.
Okay, and you will be running this on Kickstarter and Indiegogo, and you will have other variants on there.
Yeah. Michael T. Gilbert and the Michael T. Gilbert one is funny because he's a humorous guy, so he put a funny spin on it. He's the creator and artist of Mr. Monster. I can't wait to show that one. And then
awesome. Yeah, so this one will be the universal across all platforms, right? This one.
Yeah,
okay.
Renzo is he's the artist, so his covers are the A covers, the normal standard.
Right. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, and then this one is the back cover by Renzo.
Yeah, I just love that.
Like, I love it. Yeah,
I love that. That's like one of my favorite images of all comic books now.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. I like it a lot too.
And then you see that tier. That's a pint glass. You know, he's a dad. He's a father, so of course he wants a beer. So I made a.
Oh, let me full screen you.
You see, it's got the patriarch symbol on the pint glass.
Awesome.
The other side says heroic tales.
I did not know you had a thing for Rome. Yeah, you gotta come on, and we need to do a Rome special. Or get in contact with like Michael Odin. You were a professor?
No, I said I wanted to be a college history professor. Instead, I became a kindergarten teacher, and I'm like, I was just so bored. I quit, became the most educated construction worker in New York.
I mean, hey, as long as it's rewarding work, then honest work is honest work.
Yeah, I think.
Hey, Shelby, what's up? You're eating mac and cheese. Why am I not surprised? And Brian Crisco is here. Hello. Thanks for joining, everybody. Yeah, this will happen. I got to put you in touch with Michael Odin.
Okay.
It'll be a good show. All right.
Because I feel like I'm losing it. I used to read textbooks for pleasure, and now I feel like I'm losing it.
Y'all crazy. That is listen, history is fascinating.
You get both covers. I'm not charging different prices for the two covers. I don't want to I'm trying to keep the campaign as simple as possible also. I don't want to make any mistakes, you know what I mean? So $10 a book, $10 a cover. This used to be the most popular.
Okay. And here are the interior pages here.
You can get both covers and a glass. And then this metal coin. It's the size of a
sorry. Okay. Sorry, I didn't know you were talking about the tiers. Okay, let me.
I'm sorry. We're both on different channels.
Yeah, I was trying to go through the okay. No, it's fine. Did I miss anything? Let me make sure I got everything. So you have the
just the basic
main
cover.
Okay, and then here is 3-pack. Is that right? 3 copies. A very book focused, and you do have a digital perk. Wonderful. Perfect. Yeah, because I know
I got dragged kicking and screaming into the new century because I'm an old fogey and I like my floppies. And a guy who's on my channel lived in Ireland, and he said, I won't be able to back your book, So I was like, you know what? You're right. I got give the customers what they want. So $6 for a digital copy.
Yeah. That makes sense. International shipping is crazy, and you already mentioned you had the glass along with the comic. I like that little Corinthian column. Is that what it's called? I don't know, but that's nice. I like the Roman aesthetic that you've tied into everything, and you explained why that was part of the motif. I like that a lot.
Look at the logo right here, the patriarch. The building it's a foundation because he's in a foundation that other heroes will look to him for because at this point he's been a superhero for 22 years. And then in issue 3, I'm going to talk about his origin because I didn't want to do his origin story right off the bat because does anybody really care about the origin of a character they don't know yet? Just like Casimir, we got his origin in 2.5. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm going to be doing.
Cool. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to jump right into the story.
Yeah.
Just jump right into the meat, like the greatest challenge, the BBG, and then you can sprinkle in the backstory and the origin stuff as you go. I like that kind of storytelling.
And then
you got a variant.
That's the 3-pack. The variant with the pint glass.
Okay. Yeah. Very straightforward. I like that.
Then both covers for $20, and then both covers and the pint glass.
All right. Oh, that's very
affordable. I already shipped pint glasses to Winnipeg, and they got there intact. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
And then this coin I made. I don't know. I love coins, so I want to try to. I want to put like all my superheroes, the symbols on the coin. This is from the Norse Foundry. It's in Norway. So if anybody wants to work with the Norse Foundry, you've got
Norse Foundry. Yeah, I know them.
Ample time because, you know, they make it Norway. It's in a queue. They make it, then they got to ship it back to you. So it's expensive. So I'm sorry, it's $5 for a coin the size of a nickel, but but it looks awesome. You know, it's a little coin and it's got a wash on it. So it says Heroic Tales. You flip it over, it's got the patriarch symbol on it. And if you add that, it's not going to change the shipping because it weighs a nickel. I'll just be able to slip them in the Gemini bag, you know.
Yeah, awesome.
I love it. You know,
I like that. Yeah, I kind of I'm more of a enamel pin person. I kind of like pins, but coins, I'm warming to the idea as well. It's like a nice little token, and it feels nice. It's not like a cheap little item you add on. And if you make them in bulk, I mean, they're a little expensive because they're metal items, but if you make a lot of them, it's fine.
Yeah, you know, the minimum order is like 300 coins. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's the same with enamel pins. Usually, the same factories will make both of those kind of products. But yeah, you know, I think that looks great and all that.
I'd like to get like an embroidered patch of the laurel wreath that people could like sew on hats or check. I was trying to get T-shirts made, but but all the local places couldn't do it, so I dropped that idea for this campaign. But maybe next campaign I'll get T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
if the customers want.
Yeah.
We didn't show all the pages. So here's the patriarch. You know.
Yeah. So let's finish showing the pages. This is the opening scene where there's
I wanted to show that the patriarch, as a father, a dad doesn't just walk into the living room and start smacking the kids. So one of the things the patriarch always does is he tries to talk first. You know, if he wants to de-escalate, you know, a dad doesn't want to resort to violence, or at least a good dad doesn't want to resort to violence. But a good dad will smack if necessary. I don't care what these people say. A little spanking never hurt anybody. So he actually de-escalates this situation for a variety of reasons. And one of them is this guy has a Tommy gun and he has telekinetic powers. So in his mind, he's going to be like, you know, will I deflect every bullet? Somebody could get hurt. So let me, you know what I mean? But he basically intimidates Boss Moxie into surrendering. I wanted people to know that he's not the Punisher. He's not here to kill and maim and stuff. He's here to guide and protect, you know, and help.
I like that though. I mean, you got to have some action sequences, but violence is a last resort. And I think especially
there'll be action
for a character like the patriarch, that's a good. He's a role model, and that's a good role model thing to do. That's a good theme to have.
You'll see in the future issue, like as he's trying to people take advantage of the fact that he doesn't come out swinging. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's realistic as well. Yeah, that's great. And here's some more pages.
Oh yeah, the next page is the wolf. Yeah, the Wolf and Batsy page.
You know,
and
so cute, a little homage to them.
He repairs the guardrail because you can't just leave that. Some kid could wander off.
Yeah, that might be a problem. It may or may not be a problem. So wholesome. And here are the add-ons: the coin and the shot glass.
Oh yeah, it's a legit beer pint glass. You know, it's an 8-ounce.
Oh right, pint glass. Yeah, I misspoke. It's a pint glass, not a shot glass. Correct.
Somebody's asking, does he make dad jokes? I was really struggling with the idea of that he just telling a dad joke like "Welcome Back, Connor," but I'm gonna have one who's gonna be telling jokes and stuff, but he. You know, his biggest dad trait is he likes like classic rock music, you know, trying to get.
Yeah, you gotta have a little dadness in there. But I think I don't know. Dad jokes are they're a little overdone as well. Not all dads are. I don't know. Dad jokes are fun.
So two cards got unlocked, and we're gonna update the artwork any day now because I'm just getting the backs printed up, and so the first card is gonna be the patriarch, and then the back would be his stats and villain vigilante. The second card is going to be Boss Moxie and his stats, and then the next 3 cards are going to be the 3 henchwomen, and then the last card is the bad guy, who's still a surprise. And then I just realized the bad guy in Ron's story, that'll get another card if we get high enough.
Yes,
And this is going to go across every platform. You know what I mean? So there's me.
Right. So you'll have universal trading cards. Yeah, this is great. I just you've got everything down. You're just introducing Andy. I hardly have to ask any questions.
Yeah,
everyone.
I'm getting good. I've been on everybody's channel.
You know your campaign. This is wonderful. It makes my job so much easier. Oh, I appreciate you. And I love the trading card idea as well because, as you all know, I love my trading cards. For Fiendish, I stat them out in Pathfinder, and you're statting your cards out as well.
Yes.
So if anyone is into role-playing games, then you're going to want these stretch goals. So help us unlock these right here. Yeah, because John's tabletop guy.
It's a small but hardcore following. So, you know, in message groups that are still active by people that remember this game that came out in 1983 are like, oh my God, you know.
I've never played it. I guess I have to try. Like, I play too much Pathfinder. I gotta try something else.
I've never played Pathfinder.
It's good. It's very crunchy, but that's kind of why I like it. But I want to try out some different systems and see how different it is. I did not like 5e. That's that's the main other one I tried. No, not for me.
The last game I played was second edition.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's. You probably would like Pathfinder then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll like Pathfinder. Do you want to do a? Do you have a trailer? Did I miss it?
Oh yeah. I have something. I was going to give you a sneak peek. Renzo sent. Remember I told you there's a flip book, so half the book is going to be the patriarch, and then you flip it over. The next character that I'm going to introduce is Mary Sue. So if you want to bring this up, this is the first public appearance of Mary Sue.
All right.
So Mary
That's
Sue.
Mary Sue. So what is her character about?
Mary Sue is perfect.
The most Mary Sue stereotypical of Mary Sue characters.
Yeah, her name is Mary Sue. She's a third generation American. Her grandparents left China due to the Maoist, problems. So they're Roman Catholic. So they were like, we got to get out of here. So she came to America, lived in Flushing because that's where I was living. And her grandparents started a small convenience store. Her parents turned it into a supermarket. And now, so she's wealthy, she's pretty, she's super intelligent, and she starts working for a supervillain, but she doesn't realize it. And the supervillain wants to get superpowers. So he's studying superpowers, hires this recipient of the Hypatia Award to study metaphysics and there's the counter spectrum. They discovered this whole electromagnetic spectrum that's been undetected, and she's studying it, and she's basically saying, we're getting carried away, we can't do it, and problems arise. She has the powers to manipulate reality. So she's like the Scarlet Witch.
So she accidentally gets superpowers while unknowingly aiding the villain. Well, is what happens.
Yes.
Okay.
And
interesting.
So it's funny because I said who cares about but her origin is in issue number 2. She I love this character. I was just playing with the tropes of Mary Sue. So I'm like, I'm just gonna make she's perfect, and that's endless possibilities. So she has the ability to manipulate probabilities. But the thing is, yes, she's a PhD.
She is good. She's not a failure. She won't get smacked on her mom.
And that's funny. She's gonna have like the grandmother that's like always like getting in her face, because the grandmother survived real hard.
That's clever. The Mary Sue. The name is SU. That is so clever. Is she Mary Sue-ish though? Like the writing trope in any way?
She's perfect in the fact that she's a good girl. She became a PhD. She graduated college early. She's religious. You see that symbol on her chest? I designed that symbol. That's it's 2 hands with eyeballs. So it's St. Thomas. I don't know if one of the apostles, when Jesus came to the apostles, St. Thomas said, I want to see your hands. So he needed proof. So she joined a group of Christian scientists that and St. Thomas is the patron saint of scientists in my world. So she wears this shirt when she went to college because people were teasing her because she didn't have a boyfriend. She wouldn't drink. She's perfect in grandma's point of view, not in a Mary Sue's point of view. You know what I mean? So she's, and that's a whole big thing. Her love interest is whatever. I'm telling too much, but anyway.
Oh no! Don't spoil anything. Yeah.
This is her lucky shirt that she's wearing when she's doing these experiments. She always wears this lucky shirt, and now that's become part of her costume. So,
all right, interesting.
So if you look at it, it's hands with eyeballs on it because St. Thomas needed to see the hands with his own eyes.
I didn't.
And I tell you,
story. I thought that was just a thing from Guillermo del Toro.
Oh yeah. Well, it's scars and then the eyeballs over here. You know.
Okay.
St. Thomas looking at the hands to see where the nails went in. Yeah.
All right.
So that's a sneak peek. But yes, I do have a trailer. I will show the trailer next.
Yes, show.
And I got a Phantasmagoria made this for me, and then just gave it to me. I didn't ask her to. I was like, holy moly, thank you so much. So,
holy, a little bit. She is too flawed and too much of a real character to be a true Mary Sue, but that's because John writes real characters and is a serious writer.
And she also doesn't want to use her powers because it could be like the butterfly. If she changes reality, something else, like, you know what I mean? If that car doesn't crash and the people survive, maybe that kid's a serial killer. You know what I mean? Like, so they could be on. So she's smart enough to realize that using her powers could mess things up. Basically, she's going to realize she doesn't know she has powers, and she uses them and not knowing it, and the consequences are going to mess her up. And
interesting.
So I made her a Mary Sue because she's perfect. But I tell you, she already has a scar on her face. She's going to go through hell, this poor girl. I feel bad for her.
All right. Yeah. No, putting your characters through hardship is good.
You ready for this trailer? Okay.
Yes. Let's look. TC says heroic trailer. Indeed, yes. Very heroic, and it's got that inspiring classic superhero feel, but it also isn't. I think you struck a really great balance of and it seems like an aspirational superhero story, but it doesn't feel like it's been done before. And I think you're definitely being a little daring with obviously the patriarch name and the is this power really called the male gaze?
No, he doesn't call it.
But you should call that as advertising. You got to knock over my glass.
Somebody will.
That's funny. Yeah, somebody will call it that. That's funny though. You're also being a little cheeky, but I feel like that's exactly it's. But it's all in good humor. It's all because you're trying to bring something good back into comics, and I think that's the right approach. It feels wholesome and it feels like this is genuine, but it's also a real character. So I'm really excited for this. I think this is great. And Mary Sue as well. Oh my gosh, that's clever.
Do you remember I guess I'll give it another spoil, but you did a couple of lines of voices.
Oh yeah, I did one line.
Yeah, you did one, and
because I sound like a child, so I guess I do voice acting now.
We're gonna redo that trailer with a couple of lines of dialogue in it.
Yay! All right.
Because
The new trailer will be. You'll hear
I
my
stopped doing.
voice.
I was like, all right, this comic's getting expensive. I'm not going to do a trailer. And then Phantasmagoria did this great trailer for me. So I'm like, all right.
Oh, that's awesome. Fanta's awesome. That's so
So
nice.
Joe has that wonderful voice. So it's like that's what I picture the patriarch sounded like.
Sweet. I can't wait for that. Yeah. Yeah, it's my first voice acting gig. Oh, I'm so proud. All right. I saw someone said that they backed.
Oh, cool.
For so let's refresh this, see if it went up. It did. Yes. Another backer. Thank you so much. Yeah, everyone, if you are watching right now, we've still got like 50 people watching, over 50 people watching.
Oh,
If this campaign looks good to you, if you like superhero comics and you want some positive masculinity back in modern media, which we sorely need, then this is the book for you. John's been thinking of these concepts for over 30 years. If you guys know John's Longbox, he is a comic fan. Like, there is no one that knows comics better than John. So if you were to try and find someone, if you want someone that can make a good superhero comic, knows what they're doing, I would say it's John. Do you want to give everyone a quick elevator pitch, because we had some new people come in who might not have seen the beginning? Well, what is Patriarch? Do you want to just run that down real quick?
This is Heroic Tales. Heroic Tales is a Blue Sky superhero comic book, an homage to Bronze Age Marvel and DC. The first issue features the Patriarch, who is a beloved husband, a devoted, a beloved, a loving father, devoted husband, beloved superhero. It's 30 pages, complete story. You know, each issue will be a standalone story, but you could read them in order, and you know, you'll be rewarded with, you know, references and foreshadowing and Easter eggs. Is that the right term? So it's all leading up to this, and then issue 2 and going on, it'll be a flip book. It'll be a complete Patriarch story, and then when you flip it over, it'll be another character. And then sooner or later, the team will form. You know, you can't just start issue 1, Thanos. You know, it doesn't have the impact. So I'm building up to a big threat, a couple of big threats actually, and then the team will have to be formed. And then of course, this guy doesn't like that guy. You know, the Patriarch is a good guy. So issue 3, I'm going to be introducing a bad guy superhero that to me is why if superheroes acted like the Punisher and Batman in real life, we'd be like a little like, ooh, you want our superheroes to be like Superman. And I'm sharing a picture because when you said I know my comics, I always bring this picture up.
That is amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I have a YouTube channel, John's Longbox, where I talk about comics. I usually make 1 10-minute video a day about a comic from my collection, but the past 3 weeks I've been promoting. So I want to get back to doing showcase. But I did Fiendish. That's how I found Rini. Somebody recommended this comic for me, and I was like, I love this comic. I did a video and then reached out to talk to her. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and you were also a gaming guy, which
yes, you can see behind me. It's all board games. Every Monday, every Thursday, I got my friends come over. Matter of fact, Saturday, we got a long game played with all my friends. I make a pot of chili. You know, so when you come to play role-playing games, we'll have homemade chili, you know, beers.
I miss playing in person. I play online because all my friends are in different cities. Oh, it'll be so good to play in person. It's the best.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that.
I just got invited to a online game, and I'm sorry, but it's so much better in person, you know.
Hail the Lords of Ready, Heaven is real, John has it. You know, I showed you guys, I posted a picture of a Taiwanese manga bookstore, which is basically where I spent my entire childhood, and that was heaven. And there's not a lot of those around anymore, but you know what? I do need to read more superhero comics. So when I don't have time anymore, but I should make time, and I'd love to get more into it because I'm sure there's value. Clearly it's popular. It's a very interesting genre, and I'd love to find out more.
There's some great stuff, you know. And if you're interested in that, on Fridays, Kelsey, Shannon, and myself, we do 2 Beards, 1 Comic, where we talk about a great superhero comic from the past. We've been finishing up Jim Starlin's Warlock run. Oh my God, that's so good. Yes, it's all long boxes.
Wow.
I have I last count I'm up to 168 long boxes. Yeah.
Crazy. Someone said you should waterproof them. Yeah, I looked at that. I'm like, what if it floods? Because I have that fear with artwork.
Yes,
like everything.
That's my big
my
big fear is a flood. I got water sensors. You know, I'm a construction worker, so I set it up to be as waterproof as possible. But I got water sensors. Each comic is bagged and boarded. You know,
okay.
I'm actually thinking of replacing the bottom with those plastic waterproof comic boxes. But
yeah, it'll be a lot of work, but you can get. I've got a couple of those giant industrial shelves for my products and comics stuff, so that keeps everything off the ground. I don't know. You got to be paranoid about these things, but yeah. Ooh, and that's a good collection.
And I'm doing a series called Cataloging My Collection. I'm actually taking each box, you know, and showing all the comics. I'm up to box 55.
So you're up to box 55 with the you said you do comic introductions. You talk about one comic every day.
Yeah,
and you're
usually on Saturday I'll record 5 videos, you know, and then put them up.
Right.
I haven't done it since my comic got released because I've been doing nothing but promotion. But you know, I'll take Inglorious Rex, talk about it, put it right here on my easel, talk about it. Try to keep it 10 minutes because I heard that's what YouTube likes, 10-minute videos.
Yeah, really that's what I hear. Yeah. Cool.
That's a good idea.
Oh yeah, I'm sure people would love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You know, I want to have the guy who ran my comic book store when I was a kid over and like sit down at my table and do like a goof on my dinner with Andre and, you know, play that music and have him and I talk about comic book stores and stuff.
That'll be great. Yeah, everyone go follow John's channel, John's Longbox. Can I find the link? Oh, I didn't have the link ready. Oh, I'm terrible. If someone can find a link to John's channel, that would be great. So you guys can follow him for all this comic goodness that you will refresh your soul. And
just John's Longbox on YouTube. I'm easy to find.
Okay. Yeah. All right, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure somebody will find a link. Make up for my incompetence, chat. Please.
Asking, do you play Magic the Gathering, John? I used to play Magic the Gathering. I could tell my Magic the Gathering story. When I lived in Albuquerque, this was 1993. My roommate, Jeff, I forget the name of the company that he worked for, but it was the Southwest distributor of Magic the Gathering cards. So he would, I guess we could tell this story now, but he would take cases and throw them out the window into a dumpster. And then we would drive at 2:00 in the morning, climb in the dumpster and take. So we had, you know, this was University of New Mexico. We would go to all the diners and everything like that. We were like the drug dealers. We'd have like all the Magic cards tucked away and people would buy.
Oh my God.
I'm not even joking. We had Black Lotus cards. We had all of those cards. You know, this was 1990. You know, but they weren't that expensive. You know, we were selling, that was our job. That's how we paid rent, you know, selling Magic cards.
So it's like I'm not dealing weed, I'm dealing Magic cards.
And it's funny, New Mexico, it's an open carry state. You know, so I had my revolver on my hip and I'm selling Magic cards. Some other guy came in selling Magic cards, and just as a joke, I moved my coat, and he was like, "You got it, cool." And
Oh my God, he thought you were serious.
Yeah, I was just joking, but that was stupid of me to do that.
Yeah, I don't think you joke about that. Oh, that's crazy, man. Holy shit.
So I moved out of that house, and I'm not joking. We had it looked like a pirate treasure chest, you know, an old-fashioned pirate, and we had all the cards sorted, and we were crazy. So there was a boiler room in the basement of this house, and if you went into the boiler room and you made a right, there was just this creepy little unfinished room, and that's where the treasure chest was. And I moved out of the house first, and then Jeff moved out, and Jeff said, "Oh, do you have that treasure chest?" I was like, "No, you had the treasure chest." So we think that this treasure chest is probably still there because it's hidden in a back room. So like next time I go to Albuquerque, I want to knock on the door. I'm like, "I used to live here in 1993. Can I look in your boiler room?" Because we were looking online. It must be like $500,000 worth of original Magic cards still in that treasure chest hidden.
You need to go find
Behind
it.
the boiler.
It's one of
There's-
those basements where it's just all kinds of stuff in there, so you don't know like, how to find it. Yeah. Ooh,
So I won't play Magic
Go
now
find
because
it.
I'm like, I'm not spending money, you know, after I left the treasure of a Magic card. You know, I don't even know.
Yeah.
1993 is when we stopped, you know, so.
Shit, yeah, that was a long time ago. You can play online now, though. I have friends who play online.
Yeah, it's a great game. I love Andrew Garfield. He designed another game called King of Tokyo, King of New York, and Bunny King. I love all of these. I love his games.
He's a nerd.
He's a nerd. Yeah.
You just start wearing a top hat.
we went into it. I had a case of cards. And we went into this comic book store that was selling Magic, and I was like, "Yeah, $100 for the whole case." The guy goes, "Okay." He takes the case and he walks into the back room, and me and Jeff are like, mm-hmm. And then I see the guy just went back to the cash register, and I'm thinking, and then he's helping people, and I'm like, $100. He goes, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, for the case of Magic cards. He goes, "What Magic cards?" And Jeff's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." And then I just remember we stopped, and I was like, "What do you think the deductible on these windows are if they happen to got smashed at, say, 2:00 in the morning? More than $100?" And the guy was like, gave us the money and let. I was like, "Dude,
John here was like a straight up gangster. Holy shit!
yeah, you're a gangster." Yeah.
What the hell? I have never heard stories like this. Guys, don't mess with John, especially when it comes to Magic. Well, damn, I'm glad that I'm your friend and I am your best friend ever, and I'll always be on your side. Isn't that right?
As the Walter White,
we're
it was
good.
Albuquerque before Breaking. So what was it? Breaking Nerd or Breaking Mana, I guess.
Chris plays Magic. I just learned to play Magic a few months ago. Last time I was in Colombia, so my a couple of friends I play Pathfinder with, half of them are in Colombia, so I visited. They finally taught me the basics, so I played like 2 games, baby steps.
Magic is fun.
It's fun. It's fun. It's so
a
much.
great game.
It's so much problems. There's so much to learn, and it's all problem solving. But it's honestly not that hard to pick up. It's great because the rules are. It's very straightforward. Once you get it. But there's so many cards. It's so expansive, and they continue to make stuff even now. They can keep on making expansions. So and every deck you get is constant problem solving, and it depends on who you're playing with. It was a lot of fun. Now I understand why all my friends played it so much in college.
My only problem with Magic is whoever spends the most building a deck is going to win. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like this guy's going on eBay spending $500 for a card. So there's a game I'm looking at it right now. It's called Sorcerer, and Sorcerer is you buy the box, you get all the cards. So if you buy the box, you get all the cards. I buy the box, we all this, and then you just build your deck. So to me, it becomes more of a game of skill because we all have access to every card. You know what I mean? So Sorcerer solves the Magic itch for me. More cost effective than Magic.
Yeah, I mean, it will also, or you can get crafty and you just, print out the cards and put them in the, which is what a lot of people I know do. So you can play anyways, and you don't need to pay for them. But
Magic is a fun game. I like all of I said Andrew Garfield. That's the actor, Richard Garfield. I like all of Richard Garfield's games.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who designed Magic.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah,
I gotta learn more. The cards are not AIR. Yeah, I
as
don't
much
like
as I'm into comics, I'm into board games. I'm a double barrel nerd.
Hell yeah, you're a proper nerd. I mean, just look at that background. Don't get me started on Magic systems. I am holding back. Do you see me holding myself back from talking about Magic systems?
Well, I told Rini, she inspired me because there's wizards in my superhero game. There's a Doctor Strange character. So their magic system is called the language of creation. It's basically using the language of angels and things like that to cast magic, to manipulate the cheat codes of reality kind of thing. So I'm actually going to write out all the symbols, you know what I mean? And so when a magician's going like this, they're actually pantomiming these angelic symbols that represent frequencies, and I could go on and on and on, but
I think that stuff is great though.
Yeah, I was just gonna wave it around, but then when you wrote your own language, I was like, oh man, now I gotta write my own language.
Well, I think no, you don't have to, but I think that kind of stuff it seems crazy to build a whole language for a comic or a game, or to go into that much detail about specific symbols or specific movements. But I think that building that kind of detail in world building, that even if it's subconscious, even if it's in the background, that adds to a certain instinctive level of believability, that even if the readers aren't reading all of the symbols and stuff, it feels, you can feel that this is well thought out. Sorry, what were you showing?
Oh, so it says I'm interested in Sorcery, the card game, one of the magic artists I know. So I just realized that I got a second set, not a second set, but this is an expansion with other.
It's right there. He has everything. Your house must be gigantic. You must have a whole wing of your house for the comics and board games, like 30 years worth of all kinds of
spinner rack
collections. Oh, that's majestic. Holy shit! That's a lot of stuff, and that's not even your long box. Your long box section.
No, the long boxes are in that doorway behind.
Oh man, is that your basement?
Yeah, I'm in the basement. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Man, someday I'll have
it's like if I had all the stuff in a 1-bedroom apartment, it was like a hoarder's house.
Ooh.
You know?
Yeah.
And my wife, during COVID, I was like, we got to get out of the city. You know, people are getting crazy. You know, my wife and I would go for a walk and people were pulling up to us, wear masks. I'm like, I'm with my wife. You know what I mean? We live in a 1-bedroom apartment, you know, and you're pulling up and I was like, we got to get out of here.
Yep. People got a little crazy. I'm glad that you seem, this seems like a nice place. And getting out of cities is something that I agree with. You need to get my basement. Like, yeah, that's my dream, is to have that kind of setup, and like Billy Tucci's setup, where it's just, I mean, including the stuff. What does he have? A bunch of stuffed animals that he shot and stuff because he is a hunter too. It's like the manliest nerd cave. I love it. But maybe not that, even though I wouldn't mind that either. Someday, that's our dream.
5 minutes away from me.
Really?
We went to a bar. We went, me, him, and Cecil and Vaughn. We went drinking a couple of weeks ago. And Billy's giving me his phone number. He's like, "Come on over. We'll go shooting. You know, we'll go." Yeah. I was like,
"Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, Billy's great. Yo, every time I see his studio." Yeah, you know, when you see artist studios, especially just artists who have just been in the industry for 30, 40 years or however long, and then they have their collections and the most awesome art table, and it's like really well used, and you can tell, oh, awesome comics have been drawn on it, and then all kinds of crazy stuff around the wall. I'm like, that just feels like, I want that feeling of you're surrounded with your life's work and all the comics you love. That's what I want to build too. So I'll have a basement just like that someday. Yeah. I will do it.
It took me 53 years to get this basement. You know what I mean? This is, you know, when we bought, you know, this is a tiny little house that needed a lot of work. You know,
I know that feeling. Yeah, same.
You know,
when I bought my house, it was the same. Yeah. But that's how you save money. You just will suffer for a bit while you're fixing up the house.
You know, we didn't even touch the upstairs yet. The upstairs looks like, nobody gets this joke, but it looks like Reuben Kincaid from the Partridge Family lives upstairs. You know.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, it's a TV show from 1974. You go upstairs, it's you entered 1974. It's got the panels and everything. You know, it's so ugly that it's charming now. My nieces are like, "Oh my God, I love it," you know? Because I had to fix up the basement because we had so much stuff in storage. And if you know anything about New York, it was $600 a month storage.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
I know. That's ridiculous.
So I was like, honey, we gotta fix the basement, and then we'll save $600 a month. And then, you know, my wife is like, I kind of like it now.
A lot of money.
It's just ugly and old, and you know,
you kind of get used to it. Yeah. You kind of just get.
We go upstairs. It's Little House on the Prairie. We come down here. It's the nerd cave.
That's awesome. No, my house, I basically rebuilt half of it, but it's lovely now. Oh, it was so much work, but you know, it's good. It's nice to have somewhere that's yours. That's
after living in Queens, I'm like, every day I pull into my driveway. I'm like, this is my driveway. I don't have to circle for 40 minutes looking for a parking spot. If anybody lived in the 5 boroughs of New York, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh my God.
And you come out every day, there's a new dent in your car because people, $600 a month for storage.
New York is nuts. I wanted to move to New York because like I mentioned, my dad's from New York. I quite like New York, but it's so expensive. And now New York City is crazy. So, you know, I live outside of it, but like, I love New York.
Where's
It's
your dad
just
from?
ridiculous. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to afford it?
Well-
My dad's from Queens.
Okay.
But my grandma, when she was alive, lived like smack dab in the middle of Manhattan, so I would go there all the time.
Yeah,
so I'm quite familiar with the city.
I don't go to Manhattan anymore. It's terrible. It's
not anymore. I remember fucking like 10, 15 years ago, it was pretty nice actually for a while.
Yeah,
now it's crazy. Oh, I hate going there now.
Weird. I love living out here. This was an old beat up house that just had like an old guy, you know, he fell down the steps and died. And then, you know, when we were looking at the house, there was a stray cat that just lives in our backyard. So the woman says to my wife, there's a stray cat that I've been feeding for 5 years or so. So instantly my wife's like, I got to see the cat. We got to see. It's the most beautiful cat. So then she's like, when you buy the house, will you feed the cat? My wife's like, yes. And that it got us cheap. The woman was just like, nope, nobody else is, because everybody else was like, I don't like cats. So that is our good luck charm. We got like and now there's another cat. What's that?
Where's the cat?
Well, I'll send you pictures on Twitter of the cat.
Okay, I want to see the cat.
So now it's so beautiful, and I name it Smeagol because she's always sneaking around the house.
It's Smeagol. Is it gray?
It's like tan. What do they call it? Like a teddy bear cat? It's one of those beautiful cats with big blue eyes. Or ragdoll cat. Ragdoll. It is
the fluffy ones that they're really cuddly and stuff. I love ragdoll cats. Oh yeah, I live with a cat that I think was a Maine Coon and a ragdoll mix. Best mix ever.
Yeah, I got Maine Coons.
Oh,
my wife is yelling. She's watching upset. She says it's a snowshoe hair cat.
Snowshoe hair. I don't think I know.
I'll put a picture on Twitter and I'll tag you on it. But I got two Maine Coons.
Fluffy one, right?
No, it's got short, velvety. It looks like a raccoon, from a distance. It's got that brown, but it's got big blue eyes. And then there's a little black cat that my wife calls Funky Fur because it had like patches taken up, but it had patches taken up, but the patches healed, so now it looks good. And then Funky Fur just had kittens, and today she brought her kitten over for the first time. So there's already a collar on it, so somebody claimed. But the little kitten was sitting on the porch, and I opened the door, and it jumped right into my hands. I'm like, my wife's like, no,
there you go. There you go. That's your cat now. It chose you.
On it, so somebody already. Okay.
Yep, Rini lived under a bridge with a stray cat. Oh, that's cute. That's such pretty markings. Yeah, I love the kind of dark extremities kind of markings. That's special.
And he's we think he's a boy, but he's very skittish. That's his defense mechanism. He runs away, hides. Just lately, he'll actually stay on the tiny little porch with my wife and I. So that's my wife's goal, is to get him inside because she feels so bad that he's been spending his whole life outside.
Oh, well, I hope that you guys succeed in that. That looks like a good kitty.
I want to get a big dog too, but I got it. Our fence is falling down. You know what I mean? We got work to do on this house.
Oh yeah, that's the same. I love animals, but it's just all the other considerations, because when you get an animal, it's not just about you. It's like, well, can I take care of it? What if I need to go to a week-long trip on a convention? What if I go back to Taiwan? I don't, I'm not going to just leave the animal. So I have all these considerations. But if I didn't have those worries, then I would have a zoo, basically. Animals are great.
Everybody talks, what would you do if you won the lottery? And I'm just like, have a place out in Montana and have rescued animals.
That's awesome. Yeah. I follow. Yeah, there's some people who do that, but it's like biology. I follow this biologist guy, Far Escalante. He just has like a home zoo, and a lot of people that just they throw their whole life savings in having like a reptile zoo, or they just have like, I don't know,
don't like reptiles. Somebody else, some other lottery guy could save the reptiles.
Yeah, I'll buy comics and animals.
Yeah,
it'll be evenly split. There you go.
Now my wife said, that's Thor. That's my Maine Coon boy.
Thor! Yeah. Oh, look at that blob of shadow.
And then we have Lucy. Lucy's my mean little girl that you go to pet her, she just starts biting you.
That's what they do, though.
And then
But
they were all from the same litter. And then Winnie, we had to put to sleep. She just had cancer, and she was just, that broke our heart. She was the friendly one, that little pink nose that would come out and talk to everybody, But
no, don't just sad.
Yeah, no,
well, you have the other ones.
But you know what? It was, like I said to my wife, it was the best possible ending. You know what I mean? Because, like George Carlin said, when you're buying a pet, it's going to end badly. So Winnie,
you're
in my arms. We had a vet come to the house. You know what I mean? She was in our arms. What else? She didn't disappear. She didn't get hit by a car. Oh, there you go. There's Lucy.
Oh, little shadow. Yeah, most of my cats have been owned by roommates, but I did adopt a stray cat once, and she ended up having kidney problems, and she passed. But it was good. It was just, it was good to give her a good life for a couple years.
I went to work, and as an electrician, when you go to a job site, that a lot of times it's temporary power. So somebody has to get there first to turn on the power. So this was I forget, it was like the Monday after a 3-day weekend, and everything's dark, everything's quiet, and I just hear meow, meow, and I'm like, what's going on? So I turn on the lights, and nobody's on the job, so I'm just hearing this echo, so I couldn't tell where it was. But I found this little baby kitten, and it was the same kind of snowshoe hair. It looked like a little baby raccoon. And it's just meow, meow. And it was born with no eyes. It just had with it. You know what I mean? So all I could think of is the mother must have just walked it as far away from possible, dropped the kitten off to die, and left it. Because it was in it. So I of course rescue it, and I called my sister-in-law, who's a crazy animal. She came driving to the construction site like a crazy person. Where is this cat? And it had liver failure, no eyes. It was this blind little, and it just followed her around. It only lived like 3 years. Yeah.
Well, you gave them a good life. Honestly, that's also a rewarding feeling.
And there's Winnie. That's the one that just passed.
Wow, she's so pretty though.
She was cute. Everybody loved Winnie. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's most pets, you'll outlive them, but it's just a good feeling to take care of something and give them a good life. You gotta know that's coming. That's part of the lesson. That's part of the deal.
Yes, you got to see this cute little. It still has the blue eyes. This little kitten that came on the porch today, and I picked it up and it's crawling under my beard and everything. My wife's like,
"Why?" She's getting sad. Oh yeah, let's not talk about pets anymore. People are getting sad. I have Should I pull out my stuffed animals?
Sure.
People are happy.
Okay. That's in the future issue. You can see that the patriarch has an animal rescue farm.
Then we'll take one last look at the comic stuff. Oh, hold on! I have new stuffed animals. Wait, so this was
everybody. Look at that!
Everybody's like, "What's happening?" I love corgis and Shiba Inu, so people have been sending me stuffed corgis and Shibas. So it's a little derpy looking, but I love it. It's kind of adorable. It's like a bean. I have like 7 corgi toys now. It's ridiculous. Oh, and look, this was a gift that Rushbrook and his lady got me when I went to Free Comic Book Day out in Augusta. So thank you, Michael and Mrs. Rushbrook. This is adorable. It's from Princess Mononoke. You guys didn't know. It's Yakul, which I love Princess Mononoke, so it's perfect. Yeah. There you go. Everybody can be happy now because I brought all my stuffed animals. I'm a child. I'll never grow up.
Issue 5. I'm sitting in a room full of toys. Issue 5 or so, all you pet lovers will be happy.
Yay! Yeah, that's the one thing where, I mean, you can just fuck up all kinds of, you can have a really likable character, fuck them up, but you better not kill the dog. You better not even put a finger on the dog. Like, people will get mad at you, and I've realized that. So, fair enough. I understand.
I plead the 5th.
Yeah. Oh no!
I'm teasing.
All right. She's a Taurus.
Yeah, that's, you know what I mean. Like they if you, first off, the patriarch's not my self-insert. If anything, he's more of an homage to my dad. I'm one of 7. My mom was Irish, my dad was Italian, and but if he has that sense, the ability to sense things, so he'll like mine for gold and go to ships and take out treasure. So he's wealthy, and one of the things he does is he does a lot of charitable works, and he does have like a rescue animal farm that his family takes care of. Because I figured, like, if you're gonna, he's a superhero that he doesn't have a day job. He doesn't need a day job. So his day job is being the superhero. And like, they're also like the homeschoolers, they're preppers, they stay on the farm. They fix all their stuff. If anything, maybe his biggest flaw is maybe he's a little too protective, but then again, the story where the wife gets burnt will explain a lot of that, so there's no reason. It's not like he's crazy or paranoid or anything. He's that's something serious. But I like in the you'll see in future issues, he is like, there's a homeless shelter that he sponsors, you know what I mean? And he's doing real stuff besides superheroes, charitable works. I couldn't think of the word. Oh, thank you.
Chat's distracting me. They're talking about it, but hold on, the funds will come. I did kill a giant cat in Fiendish 2.5, but it was rather inevitable. It's explained. Yeah. Yep. No spoilers in chat, everybody. No spoilers.
I almost spoiled it, and then I realized
yeah. No, I like that his your character is all about being protective, and it's it seems very well thought out, where he's different from Superman. Superman obviously has he's also positive masculinity, but specifically the patriarch is, like you said, a father, and that's a bit of a different approach. So Superman, oh my gosh, Superman has a certain approach, but also I think the patriarch seems even more de-escalatory and just fatherly. I can't think of another word. Like, we all instinctively understand what being fatherly means, and that's a great thing to have in a comic.
And that's one of the things he's always going to be doing. You don't see it, but on the very next page, he goes up in the air again, and he's, using his powers, and he sees his kids sleeping and stuff like that. And then he goes and does something else. You know what I mean? He's always checking, Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. We need more stories like this. If that sounds good to you, then back the patriarch on Fund My Comic. Is there anything that we missed on this campaign? I don't want to, we're on a bit of a tangent. I apologize.
Yeah.
We're talking about cute cats. I can't help myself, but
me too.
I want to make sure we cover everything about your comic. Like, is there anything that I missed that you want to shout out about?
We covered everything. Somebody asked how many issues did I write. I have obviously issue 1 is complete. Issue number 2 is halfway complete. When I say rewritten everything, and then I have up to issue 20 in various stages of completion, index cards plotted out, outlined, and the only problem is some of the issues have to be in this particular order, or they won't have the impact. But some of the issues, I'm like, I think I want to pull this one forward because I just can't wait. I'm going to spoil it if I wait. So again, every issue is going to have the patriarch. He's the flagship character, and then it will have like issue 2. I already said is going to be Mary Sue, and then issue 3 is going to be the patriarch. And I had a Batman character, and he was originally, like, in my role playing game, he was called the Raven, and there's just so many superheroes called Raven that I feel like, what, I'm going to get myself in trouble. So I'm glad I thought that, because now I completely came up with basically the same thing. He's a street level Batman type character, but he's not the Raven anymore. And he just got better. I can't wait, but I don't want to tell the name because somebody's going to be faster than me will come out with it. It's going to be great. So
get in business first. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. So the Batman character, it's going to be his story. And to me, it's going to be the ultimate Batman movie script. So far, no movie has done Batman correctly, if you ask me. Quote the Raven, I had to change it, but it's killing me because I got character sheets of the Raven. One of my characters for 10 years in my box of role-playing stuff, but I have to change it for the comic. And then issue 4 is going to be the Patriarch and the Batman character. I'm going to call it the Bold and the Brave. It's going to be them meeting for the first time. And you know how superheroes always fight. There's a misunderstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're going to fight because it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
The Superman character versus the Batman character, Patriarch versus the unnamed street level vigilante. And I think, I can't wait to tell that story. That's gonna. Well, I almost gave spoilers.
No, that's awesome. I can't. No spoilers, but I can't wait to see you tell that story, because it sounds like you're, in a sane industry, you would probably be able to write for all these classic heroes, but whatever, you're building your own thing, and I think that's right. Good. I think that's what we need.
Could you believe that if I went back in time and told 14-year-old me, because I all I wanted to do was write the Fantastic Four. That's my favorite comic book. I like that whole concept of family. I love the Fantastic Four, a family of explorers. You know what I mean? I just love that. And now if you went back in time and told me, John, you're going to make your own comics and you don't want to write for the Fantastic Four, you don't even want to work for Marvel anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this is a space invader shape changing and lying to me to destroy my, you know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. Well, so much has changed.
You used to work for Marvel. You don't even want to work for Marvel anymore. And you used to work for them.
Though they don't want me. So it's whatever. I mean, I think what comics here needs is new blood, and not even just new blood, but new ideas. And I think a lot of things have become stagnant, not even talking about, well, there's a lot of politics involved, but I think the medium has become kind of stagnant. So new heroes, whether it's a return to form or branching out to doing different genres. And like I talk about this all the time, I feel like there should be other genres of comics, which there used to be in America. We used to have horror and romance and fantasy, and because of the Comics Code Authority and all kinds of stupid shit like that, that went away. But bringing that back would help comics and would bring in new readers, and superhero books should stop sucking as well, because I also want superheroes to do well. Just fix it all around.
I agree with everything you said. I think the main problem with comic books is they hired a bunch of people who never grew up reading comics. Like, I was when Matt Barrow was on my channel, I was joking around saying, if I was in charge of Marvel Comics and somebody came to me and said, I want to work for you, my first question would be, show me your comic collection. Show me, and if you don't have I'm not talking about some Kindle bullshit thing that you got on your phone. I want to see
your long boxes. Yeah.
I want to see dog-eared comics. Show me a comic collection. What's the first comic you ever read? And if you can't instantly, then you don't have any business working in comics.
Especially writing. Like, I would say I wouldn't, even if a job was offered to me, which it never would, like writing a superhero book, I wouldn't, because I know I'm not qualified to do that. But they don't have that awareness in mainstream comics. It's so strange, because it's like they're not safeguarding their own IP. They're self-sabotaging. It makes no sense. Right.
Denny O'Neil, when he was the editor on Batman for 20 years, he used to say that he is the custodian of Batman. So what he meant by that is he protected Batman so that when it's time for him to retire, the next person could work on Batman and pay their mortgage and tell stories and get bills paid and make a living. But these people who now work for Marvel and DC, they don't care about these characters. They want to make their mark. It's about them. It's not about the character. So I don't know if anybody's seen me on Twitter, but I always say, it's about comics. # it's about comics.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to sound mean, but I don't mean it to be. It's not about Rini. It's not about me. It's not about Brian Bauer. And it's about their characters. It's not about Ethan Van Sciver. It's about Cyberfrog. It's not about. I could list everybody, but you get the point. And when we make it,
the books come first.
Right. Well, when we make it about Ta-Nehisi Coates, which was the first offender for me of what he did with Black Panther, he started changing things that were fundamentally part of the Black Panther. And I'm like, you can't do this, because you're just a tourist. And you notice he's not still in comics for a guy who claimed to love comics. Roy Thomas stayed in comics for 40 years. Walt Simonson stayed in comics for 40 years. You know, Ta-Nehisi Coates came in, he wrote some bad Black Panther stories, changed the character forever, and then left. And now the comic doesn't sell as much as it used to. You know,
yeah, because they corrupted something that was a legacy, and they thought that was just they don't understand writing or consistency or fandom. It was, like you said, they don't view this as the comics come first. It was about them, the creator, instead of about the books, and that is the exact wrong way to approach any sort of creative process. That's kind of narcissistic. It's very narcissistic,
right?
And that's why, you know, the story isn't about you. You can't create good stories. And here's another thing: you can stories that have self-inserty characters can work when it's not the creator making a self-insert. You're making a self-insert for the readers to imagine, I want to aspire to be this person, I'm just like them. But when the creator's hubris takes over a character, that never works. Right. Because it's not about you. You're not entertaining anyone else. It's just for your own ego. And the way I see it, a lot of mainstream comics have been taken over by that attitude. And it's completely self-sabotaging, and you're going to lose money.
Like it or not, there's nobody working for Marvel right now who's Captain America. There's nobody working for Marvel who's Reed Richards or Ben Grimm or you know what I mean?
Not just physically, but morally.
Yeah, just get rid of that. You know, these are classic characters, and everybody they try to like break down Superman or deconstruct. If you can't make Superman as this inspirational, what kind of pretentious asshole would do it? Yeah,
I wonder. No idea.
If you can't write Superman as this moral ray of hope, like almost this angelic figure, then you have no business writing Superman. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Or if you don't,
if you're asking why doesn't Batman kill the Joker, then you shouldn't be writing Batman.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fundamental misunderstanding. I mean, even I understand these questions. And again, I barely have read any superhero comics, and I would never write them because I'm not qualified, but these people have even less understanding. Oh my gosh. Someone asked me, is there any book I would draw for the Big Two? Probably only Conan, because that is right down my alley. Conan the Barbarian. They're never going to hire me for that, but I would kill it.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. But no, I got Fiendish now. I think you doing the Patriarch and everyone else who is making original stories, this is great. We might be starting out small. We might not be direct competition for the Big Two. But the fact is that what matters isn't, well, we're competing with some large company that has infinite more amounts of money than us. It's the fact that we are creating something and we're building a fan base. Who knows where we'll be 10 years, 20 years from now? Like even Marvel and DC, Superman, Batman, all these characters started out small. They started out just like this. It was a small production and someone just had an idea. So I think people should remember that and keep on building.
I get so mad when people just like, I want to tell, my point of view through Captain America. I'm like, well, then make up your own character. Well, that takes work. And, exactly.
It does take work. It takes a lot of work. People don't believe me when I tell them this. Do you know how long I've been putting my art on the internet? I've been doing it for 20 years.
Wow.
Already. I started very young. So it's 20 years and I'm not even, there's a lot of artists that are more famous than me, have bigger followings. I have a decent following, but 20 years and I'm still not there, but I'm not going to give up. It takes time and a little bit of luck, but the luck isn't going to hit you unless you try and you're out there.
Like they said in The Incredibles, luck favors the prepared. And I'll also say luck favors the diligent and the persistent. In a way, I have a forum that's been up since like 1999, villainsvigilantes.forum.com, where you can go through 10 years of role-playing stories and basically read heroic tales before it comes out, because these are all adventures. And I also
awesome. That's still up.
Yeah, it's still up. It's
Villains and Vigilantes.
www.villainsandvigilantesforum, onebigword.com.
Okay.
And it's made for like the five of us who used to play Villains and Vigilantes and a couple other people that I never met. But it's so old that there's it's breaking down because they're not doing the upkeep for these old type forums. So I'm actually talking to a few people about importing it to a new service, and maybe by issue 3, I'd like to have a Heroic Tales website where I could do my own crowdfunding and do my own store and have my forums up and things like that. So, like I said, I got big plans, but you guys, there you go.
There we go. All right, yeah, everyone, check this out if you want.
And if you click where it says Villains Vigilante, all my house rules pop up, and the house rules are actually longer than the rules for the game.
That's awesome. Oh man, this is great.
Yeah, but this
hell yeah.
This is my forum, and if you scroll down, if you see where it says House of Ideas, if you click on that, you'll get all the all the spoilers in the world, because it's like 20 years.
Oh no! Holy crap!
Yeah.
Here's 20. It only goes to 26. I'm sure there's more. 18 pages of this. So this is at 26. Holy shit! Hold on. Let's go back to 18.
There's a thread called Explosion at the Bank, and if you read that thread, you're gonna see I invented the Upside Down years before Stranger Things.
2009. I'm sure it goes back even more. Started on 2000. Oh, this is nuts.
Yeah.
This is nuts.
Well,
the Upside Down is a that's similar to a lot of concepts that are already in tabletops.
Yeah.
It's just the specific name and the way it works. So it's similar to a lot of other things. It's just they refined it a bit for Stranger Things.
In a couple of issues, I'm going to explain the nature of the universe, which is inspired a lot by Dungeons & Dragons. So when I mapped it out, I was like, oh, okay. So not only is there the prime material plane, but on the other side, there would be like this shadow plane. And since the source of light is over here and it's shining over here, there would be darkness. So then it became an adventure where they went to I called it the Umbra, and then I saw Stranger Things. I was like, I had to call up Jimmy, and he's like, yeah, you came up with this idea years before this. And the Duffler brothers
happens sometimes, though.
Yeah, the Duffler brothers are the same exact age as me, so they read all the. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
They were reading this. They were playing Dungeons & Dragons. They had the same ideas.
It's the same inspiration. That stuff is uncanny. Sometimes if someone just has the same influences, they'll come up with similar ideas, which is another reason I tell people, if you have an idea, just fucking do it. It's not going to be perfect because nobody is perfect. Just do your best to get it made, because someone else will have a similar, if not exactly the same idea. And I do think to a certain extent, ideas at their core nobody creates within a vacuum. So if you're not using it, someone else is going to nab that. And when you take that idea, you put it out there, you add your personal flair, then you make it yours. That's important. Don't wait. Don't sit on these things. It's not like, it's just going to be there forever as well. You have limited time. Go and create.
What I call stealing gravitas. You know how we say you stole valor when you pretend to be in the military and you weren't. But I say stolen gravitas when you take say the new Miss Marvel and you just give her the name Miss Marvel and you tell us, oh, she's the most popular superhero ever because we decreed it. That's stealing gravitas. Superman earned his place as the most popular.
I like that term. I felt that there was a lot of that astroturfing, I recall, and it was kind of unfortunate. I think I started when I started work. Honestly, I don't like, complaining about working in mainstream comics. I feel like it's unprofessional. But the fact is, I noticed that stolen gravitas, where a lot of characters that were being pumped up at the time, like Miss Marvel or Squirrel Girl, it was like they were saying they were popular, and it was artificially being pumped. They were advertising the characters, but when I would go to the comic shop and talk to comic fans and readers, they would never be talking about those characters. They'd be talking about some other stuff.
Right.
So it was off-putting, and I had no idea what was going on at the time. And that's very, again, it goes back to hubris. It goes back to these, I hate this view of when entertainment companies, and I'm super against entertainment being ultra corporatized. I understand it's a business, but when it becomes, it's just completely corporatized and the creative process is taken out of the whole equation, then it's nasty. That's when you get, stuff starts going downhill. But anyways, I don't like this idea where the companies and whoever is making the entertainment views the fans as, well, they're here to consume. They're consumers. We can make anything. It doesn't matter how bad it is. This is kind of their job to support. They take the fans for granted.
Right.
And that's absolutely disgusting to me, because I talked about this before as well. In manga, it's a complete other way around. In manga, the approach is always, the industry approaches the manga as, you have to earn the fans' interest. In these weekly or monthly magazines like Shonen Jump and all those magazines, what they do is they put out chapters in like one magazine. You know, the companies will have that, like multiple comics and one installation each, and the readers vote on which series are their favorite and which series they don't like, and the least popular ones get axed. So it's very direct. You can't fake it. Only people that are actually buying the books will get feedback, and it's very competitive that way. And so you can't astroturf, well, this series is super famous. This is just because I have the right connection, so I made it out there. But now I feel like in comics has become Hollywood light. It's about, if do you have the right connections? Do you say the right things? And that's disgusting to me. The comics should come first. Doing good work should come first. Thank you. I'm done.
Yeah. Like, to me, the prime example of Stolen Gravity is there was a character called the Blue Marvel, and I hated the Blue Marvel because everybody's like, he's black. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. It has to do with the fact that he was just created in like 2013, and we were told that he was the greatest, the best character ever. And then he's been around for 200 years, but he didn't do anything for 200 years. So slavery existed. He thought it was wrong. He was going to stop it, but the government told him not to. So he sat around and wait. You know, this is what the greatest superhero of all time does. You know, there's nothing wrong with making up the Blue Marvel now as the most powerful Marvel character and then earning it. You know, like Stan Lee made up I don't know, Nova, and then Nova lasted 25 issues and it failed, and then they brought it back. Now people like Nova. You know, Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, she had her own issue. I think it went to like 19, 20 issues, and it failed, and then they brought it back. You know, that's it takes time to make it. You know, Wolverine wasn't that popular for 15 years after his creation, and then boom.
Really?
Can you imagine if he was like it wasn't until the middle of the Hellfire Club when he actually went nuts, and people are like, this character's cool, but even the X-Men got canceled, you know, and then they brought it back. They just didn't decree that you should like the X-Men and it's the best comic ever. It earned it.
You have to earn that popularity. But also, well, you mentioned these characters had failed and they came back because the creators didn't give up. But it's also not about, you have to not give up, but also realize when something isn't working and don't astroturf that, well, this is totally fine. Sales are great, guys. My gosh. Okay, we have eyes and ears. You go to the comic shop, you know what the fans on the ground think. That's what matters. That's the only thing that matters.
You said like Marvel is stagnant. Like to me, to my way of thinking, the last good Marvel new character was the Sentry. It was completely different. It was like this hoax that came in and it tricked me. I thought it was brilliant. And then they just started saying, oh, here's Miss Marvel. And it failed. Miss Marvel failed. Kamala Khan, nobody liked it, but they kept bringing it back. You know, the Squirrel Girl was a cute little side character that I thought was neat, but she's not a main character. And that I thought that I didn't like that series too much. And now Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel, I got no problem with Carol Danvers taking the name Captain Marvel. She was there back in 1968. She earned the title, but the comic is just bad. She's not. She was an Air Force agent. She was like a military police. And now they're turning into a pilot. You know, it just shows that who cares about continuity, whatever. You know.
Yeah, that's another thing that that really again, I don't know superhero comics, but I can sympathize with the whole continuity issues because I'm a fantasy fan. So now that they're bastardizing Tolkien and all those terrible adaptations of Tolkien and The Witcher, like that drives me crazy. That just almost makes me see red. Like the way they talk about as if they can make something that's better. We're gonna tell the story how Volca never wrote. Oh my god, we're gonna change things. Nothing matters. We can just change it, right? Fuck you.
If you need to change it, then make up a whole new. Like
exactly. But that takes work. And I also want to point out the fact that they're like you mentioned the Carol Danvers, the new runs didn't work out. They kept bringing her back. Well, Wolverine and the X-Men were brought back after the original series failed, but they improved. And what I see is very annoying is when the characters, these modern characters that are bad, they get canceled, they get brought back, but there is no improvement. The whole point is you should learn from your mistakes. So that's the real issue here. That's just double disrespect to the fans. You just keep on putting out stuff that no one enjoys or hardly anyone enjoys.
Jack Kirby had a lot of characters that didn't make it, and he was just like, okay, time to move on. Okay, that didn't work. I got this, and that he didn't blame the fans. He didn't get mad and say like, oh, maybe he did get mad behind the scenes, but he kept it professional. For every Devil Dinosaur and Moon Boy, it was the Fantastic Four. For every X-Men, there was, Commandy that only lasted 8 issues or something like that, or Clarion the Witch Boy. I know people love those characters, and I do too. But the point being is, not everything that Jack Kirby did was gold, but he was professional. Yes, they can't create only.
Vaughn's Wolverine. Angry. Nobody said Wolverine was original X-Men. What are you sprigging out about? Chill.
Yeah.
Rings of Power.
What gets me mad about Rings of Power now is people are arguing with me about Tolkien, and I'm just like, well, I'm talking about Tolkien. You're talking about Jeff Bezos, and Amazon. That and it gets me mad. There's so many good Tolkien stories that they could have told, and they took my favorite, the whole rise of the island, and it just gets me so mad.
Yeah, Numenor. I mean, there were so many good stories to be told there. The issue, though, is even if you're not viewing it from the point of view of a Tolkien fan, it's the show on its own in isolation is still not particularly entertaining. It's a lot of what you mentioned, what is it, stolen grandiosity or whatever.
Stolen
That's what.
Yeah.
They want gravitas. That's the whole show. They were trying to be deep, but they weren't. There wasn't any depth to it. That's the first problem. Even not approaching it from a purist standpoint, Yeah,
you're not Tolkien. There's a reason why people still read Tolkien nearly 100 years afterwards. It's classic literature. Like, what in 30 years now are they going to make like the continuing stories of Harry Potter? You know what I mean? And then update it for a modern audience. No, I don't know. She'll never, not in her lifetime will that happen, I'm sure.
No, probably not. What is Vaughn arguing about? Listen, I don't. What? And original? No, separately. Wolverine and the X-Men separately. Those are two. I'm talking about them separately.
66, and then wasn't brought back until Giant Size X-Men. And
there you go.
And even that was bi-monthly, which was like almost a kiss of death. It wasn't until, after I think somewhere around the Dark Phoenix era did it become monthly, and even after Byrne left, did it become a phenomenon? With different titles and issues. So it earned it. They just didn't decree that the X-Men was the greatest comic of all time. It earned it.
So when did Wolverine join the X-Men? When did that happen?
I think it was I might get the year wrong, but I think it was 1976, 77 in Giant Size X-Men #1.
You said Wolverine didn't do well at first. Wolverine's series.
Well, he wasn't. It's not that he didn't do well. He
popular.
He showed up in a Hulk comic, and it was one and done. And then they brought him back in Giant Size X-Men, and he was John Byrne's favorite character. So John Byrne kind of made him cooler and cooler. And then there was that issue where he fought alone. He snuck in through the series and started like cutting people's arms off. That people just went berserk for the character. But he was
okay.
He was like the troublemaking foil to Cyclops, who was the the rigid leader, and then they had Wolverine, who was always like the snarky guy smoking a cigarette, like, you're a jerk, you know, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But he, you know, he wasn't smart until later. But he earned it. He earned it. They just didn't decree Wolverine was cool. Same with Deadpool. You know, Deadpool debuted. I think he was always popular, but now he's a phenomenon. But they just didn't say like Deadpool's the greatest character ever, and everybody should like him. He earned it.
Exactly. The characters have to earn it. He didn't have a series. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, Wolverine didn't originally have a series.
Yeah, it wasn't until
number 1
4-issue series, I think, or.
I see.
Yeah.
Claremont's run.
Yep. Well,
someday I will get caught up on superhero comics. I'm still halfway through the pile of Frank Miller stuff I bought that I was going to read. I haven't finished yet. Yeah, sorry, I'll lose it when Rocky will get Berserk and goes. Oh my gosh. Okay, listen, that's a comic that I do know. So yes, I will flip out when they bastardize that.
John Monkey says I never really liked Deadpool. Didn't like the fourth one. Yeah, I know I'll catch hell for this, but I like Rob Liefeld, but I'm not a big fan of his characters. I hate Cable and I hate Deadpool. Cable because the name makes no sense. Like I said, the superhero name has to be a focus. What the hell does Cable mean? It's like such a little kid creation. His name is Cable, but he has telekinetic powers and a robotic arm and a big honking gun. It's like there's nothing focused about that. But people like Cable. What do I know?
Yeah, but people like him. Yeah. But it is late.
Yeah, I gotta
going
wait
for a while.
For
yeah,
work.
no. Oh my gosh, yeah, no problem at all. Thank you for staying so long. I'm sorry. I talk a lot, and I never have any just like awareness of when to let people go. So I apologize. But this is great.
You could suck out all the oxygen in a room.
No, we're starting more nerd fights. Okay, stop. Okay, I've said I don't know superheroes. I can't. You guys could go fight about superheroes somewhere else. Someday I'll get caught up.
Thank you guys for backing it.
Thank you very much.
Up. People have been buying the comic. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. But as you can hear, my voice is going. I've been promoting.
You did good. You did fantastic. Very, very well done. And great looking book. Everyone, once again, The Patriarch. The link is in the chat and also in the description. If you're watching the replay, keep backing this. There's still 93 days to go on this campaign. It's on Fund My Comics, so everyone go back it now. We shall continue the Nerd Wars. You guys know how it goes. Every stream is a Nerd Wars stream, so don't worry. We'll be back with that. I wanted to shout something out as well for moi. I just had Fiendish 2 go up on not Fund My Comic, on Global Comics. All these something comics websites. It's late over here. Chapter 2 just went up today. So both chapter 1 and chapter 2 of Fiendish are on Global Comics. You will need an account to read the whole thing. Some people didn't understand this. The chapter 1 has a huge preview section. So like half of the chapter is a free preview, but the rest of it is behind a paywall. Chapter 2 only has like 5 pages as a free preview, just like on the website. So it's the rest of it is behind a paywall, but you can read a snippet of it. And if you like digital comics, you can get a free account on Global Comics. And I think they have some tokens, or I don't actually know how it works. I haven't read a lot of comics on the website. I just really enjoy the interface for putting your comic on there. I really like it, by the way. So for creators who want to put your comics on a digital platform, I highly recommend Global Comics. Great customer service as well. But yeah, chapter 2, Strangers, is now up there. The whole thing, you can read it. And I'll wait a few months before I put up 2.5 because I want to let people who back the physical book read the book first, because the physical books. Yeah, the physical books take priority. So I'll wait. We're fulfilling right now. So everybody is getting their books slowly over the next few weeks. Everyone who backed the Indiegogo and Fund My Comic for Fiendish 2.5 should be getting their books. And after that, like, I'm going to wait until like the fall or something. And then 2.5 will also be up on here. Hopefully that is a way for especially international customers who I know just can't, shipping so crazy, a lot of people can't afford it anymore. Hopefully providing this digital platform, this digital access will help you, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So check it out, and if you have an account, go over and give me a like. It'll be much appreciated. Help me get a little boost. I need a boost. And also like the stream. Hit like on that stream. Like. And that's about it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Pleasure
Yeah, you guys are awesome. And you were fantastic. I enjoyed talking to you about everything.
If I didn't have to go to work, I could talk till 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's fine. I have stuff to do as well. But once again, thank you for joining me for another. It's not Hellion Art Show anymore. Comic Art Show, whatever. I'll figure out a name. I'll see you guys next week. No creative block tomorrow. But I will be streaming with Ali on Friday. So the Ali Arini Show will return Friday, and I'll see you guys next time for another comic promo. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye.